Welcome, everybody, to We Geek Podcast. Today is January 9th, episode 158. My name is Adam, joined by my good friend Logan.
Hello.
How you been, man?
Oh, new year, same shit. Like
New year? Yep. The new year, new me.
no.
New year, unfortunately, same me. Trying to make better decisions financially. Man, just when you think you're like, all right, I got a plan. I got everything working out. I'm saving this. I'm doing that. And then a day later, everything falls apart.
Yep. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Never fails. Oh, man. Payday can't come soon enough. Oh, boy. Something great happened over the last week, though.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so I might be able to play games again more sooner than I think, but it's unfortunately not like a... I basically won something from work. It wasn't a Switch, wasn't a PlayStation, but it was a 3DS.
Nice.
Yeah, and I got rid of mine a long time ago, so I'm thinking, hey, I need to call Nintendo, say I have my 3DS again. Can I download my games? Hopefully they let me. I don't know if they will. They're all digital. So I don't know, like, their process. I think the last time I talked to them and did this, they were like, this is a one-time exception, so I'm going to see how, like, because I know how to be friendly. I can totally be friendly on the phone with these people. I'm thinking, like, if I'm like, hey, look at the catalog that I purchased.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many games that I purchased. If they're like, yeah, okay. So hopefully, that arrives at the end of this week. So I'll be able to play some Pokemon. I'll be able to play some Mario. I was going to be getting a Switch soon, but man, I just got a lot of stuff I gotta get. My brother's getting married, which is exciting. I know he listens to the show, so getting all that stuff prepared. I'm sure he's you know that image of Ben Affleck standing outside with a cigarette?
Yeah.
And he's just like, he's had a day. I imagine that's what my brother is doing right now. And he's laughing because he's like, yep, that's exactly what I'm doing right now.
Nice.
Standing outside of work. I can't imagine the stress of putting a wedding together. And, I think it's easier for men because we're like, okay, it's your day, whatever you want. But I don't know. I can't imagine. I imagine he just wants he wants it to be simple, but it's not. But anyway, I'm excited for him. I know that's got to be stressful. I got a big move here coming in February, so I just have so much I got to save up for. But you know what I want to do though? I've been really wanting to see Into the Spider-Verse again.
Yeah.
There's all these movies out like Bumblebee and stuff that I want to see, but anytime I this weekend I have an itch to go see a movie. I think I'm gonna go see Into the Spider-Verse again.
I mean, that's fair.
I might sneak and tiptoe into Bumblebee or something. Who knows? I don't want to be kicked out of a movie theater at 32. But I want to go see Into the Spider-Verse again. Yeah. Have you seen anything recently?
I saw Vice, actually.
How was that?
It's interesting.
It's interesting?
It's very much an Adam McKay movie, for sure.
Yeah, when I saw that, I go, that looks like a great movie that I will catch on Amazon Prime or rent or something.
That's fair. Yeah, I think that's fair.
It didn't seem like if I go in the theater and I get the popcorn and get the seats go back, I want to see Bumblebee or something.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah.
I totally get that.
Yeah, but that's cool. Yeah, I mean, Vice looks interesting. Yeah, it looks like, I don't know, to relive all of that just seems like, ugh, I don't know. I felt dirty just watching the trailer.
It's an experience for sure. If you're on one side of things, I'm sure you're really gonna love it. If you're on another side of things, you're probably gonna cringe most of the time.
Yeah.
But that's that's the nature of things like this.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Oh boy, well, that's cool. You didn't see Bumblebee? I was wondering what you thought of that.
No, I haven't yet. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen Aquaman. I haven't seen Mary Poppins. I haven't seen a lot of things I want to see.
I hear a lot of people like Aquaman, and I felt so like when I went and saw it, and I came back and I was like, it was okay. And now it's like the biggest movie DC ever did with their new universe, which is surprising to me. Actually, didn't we talk about that before. We're like, wouldn't it be crazy if Aquaman is the biggest out of all of them?
I think so, and like it is by a long shot. Like
It is, yeah. But I thought it was okay. You know, I thought it was like that was fun. I don't want to see any of the underwater stuff again. But I don't know. I've looked at some Facebook groups and stuff like that. And people seem to really dig that. They dug the underwater stuff. They dug all. I even saw someone that was like, I want to know like all the lore and the history of Atlantis and all this. And I'm just like, really? I don't know. Like it. You know, when I see the Thor comics, that's where I'm like, oh, I want to know all that stuff. Or like, you know, if I'm reading, I don't know, Silver Surfer, I'm like, yes, I want to know more about all these alien civilizations and stuff. But for whatever reason, when it's underwater, I'm like, I'm good. I don't need to know about this seahorse civilization. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm the only one with that.
yeah, maybe I don't know. Like I said, I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know.
You should. You should definitely see it before it gets out of the theater.
It'll be around for a while.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's making money.
Yeah, it's fun. It's definitely worth seeing in the theater. I feel like I talk it down too much, but it was fun. I saw they did big numbers.
Yeah, it keeps making money. It's kind of nuts. I keep having to go in and clean up after sold out theaters, and it's getting annoying. So I'm ready for Glass because that'll at least break that up a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's not for another week yet. So
yeah.
Yay.
So I've seen this escape room. I've seen a trailer for it. Are people seeing this?
People are seeing it. They're packing them in pretty good. You know, I mean, it pulled what 18 million this past weekend, which for a PG-13 Saw ripoff is pretty good money.
Yeah.
I think more than made its budget back probably. But I don't know. You know, people coming out of it seem to like it, but with the kind of crowd that's going to go see a movie like this, they're pretty much guaranteed to like it. So I'm not putting a whole lot of stock in that. But I mean, they're showing up. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, escape rooms are huge, man. They're big. I have some family members that work with them. Started when they were really small.
Yeah.
And now they're super high in the company, and it's just banking. They're opening up new escape rooms everywhere, which is cool. You know, I think that's such a great experience, especially for like companies and stuff like that. Like it's team builder to get people into a room and try and figure it out to get out. And then of course the twist on it with the movie it being scary and everything.
Yeah.
But I thought that's cool. Smart idea. I knew this was coming with the rise of those things. It was only a matter of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, it is. It just looks like it's a Salt knockoff. That's exactly what it is. And you know, if you know that going into it and you're okay with that, then I doubt you'll be disappointed.
Well, see, that's where there's a weird spectrum these days. If that came out on Netflix this week, everybody would be talking about it.
Yeah.
And how great it is.
I'm sure. Because it's
just like Bird Box. If it came out in the theater, it would have bombed. People would have been like, this isn't that good. But the fact that it was on Netflix and free and that you woke up after New Year's Eve with a hangover and you were like, hey, let's check out this Sandra Bullock thing. And you're like, well, the first part was okay, but it kind of fell apart at the end. But hey, let's talk about it online and make memes. Like, it's crazy how popular something can get when it's out on Netflix instead of like in the theater.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So I think we're at a fun time where there's that middle ground where it's like, hey, it's on a program that I already streamed. I might as well check it out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
And that's where I'll see stuff like Escape Room. That's where I'll check that out and be like, hey, that was fun. It was cool. Whatever. As long as it's not too gory. The Saw stuff, like,
no,
I liked the twists and stuff, but it was just too much.
It's PG-13, man.
Oh, okay, so that's not bad.
No.
I wouldn't mind R, but like when it's like too much, it's like, okay, come on. I'm not 13. I don't need that. But yeah, so Mary Poppins did pretty good.
Yeah, Mary Poppins just about another 16 million.
Joe Rogan loves that, man. He's been talking about how good it is.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
it doesn't.
He says it's nice and wholesome and just something good.
It is. It's a Disney movie. What do you want? It's Mary Poppins. You cannot get any more standard kind of Disney than Mary Poppins. You just can't.
Yeah, that's like a movie you want to take your grandma to the Olive Garden, go see that, have a good time, have a great Sunday.
Yeah.
Get in by 6 p.m. You know, like that's what I when I think of Mary Poppins. Like that's something I'd probably go take my mom to go see.
Yeah.
Because that's just what we watched when we were kids. So, but yeah, that's awesome. Bumblebee
Bumblebee keeps rolling along, you know, a little over
keeps rolling.
13 million, just keeps puttering along.
I hear Transformer fans are like, "This is what we've been wanting."
That's what I've been hearing too. Is people are like it's Gen 1 designs and it's
Gen 1
very
designs,
it's
you're gonna
very
get-
Gen 1 and they're really excited about it.
Yeah. And they reined the story and they reined it into a personal.
Yeah.
From I don't know anything besides out of the trailers, but it looks like a very much like Iron Giant type movie, and that's what you need with Transformers.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
Yeah, yeah, because I was watching with my friend and her kids last weekend or the weekend before. They had a Transformer movie on, and I couldn't figure out which one it was.
Yeah.
I thought Mark Wahlberg's in this, so this is one of the last two.
But
I couldn't figure out the
which
cars.
one?
They were the Gottis, or they were. I don't know what they were. I didn't recognize any of the bots except for Bumblebee and Optimus Prime. I think Optimus was a bad guy.
Oh, so then it was probably 5? I don't even remember because I never saw the last one. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I did either. And I think I did last weekend or the weekend before, whenever it was. And I was just totally like, this is dumb. Like I tried to watch it. You know, you try to watch a movie with kids, and you're like, okay, what's going on with this?
Yeah.
And I just could not be. I just was so bored. But this Bumblebee movie looks fun, and that's kind of what they need to stick with. Maybe they'll do more like one-off movies.
I think that would be better. You know,
that would be better. Yeah, do an Optimus Prime like origin movie or something. I could totally see that. Or keep it, if you're gonna do a team, just keep it smaller. Keep like 3 or 4 of them, and that's it. Like have them like that's what made the first one so good. Is they were kind of stranded. They didn't really have much going on, and Shia LaBeouf was like the key to it, you know. And then it just morphed into this just outrageous thing. If you're gonna go outrageous and crazy, do like a Cybertron movie where you just is nothing but Transformers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you're gonna don't go like we could do like a halfway kind of like sort of nuts. No, you have to go all or nothing.
Yeah, go all out. Make it like a full blown CGI fest for that. But if you can keep it on Earth, keep it more down to earth, keep it more simple. You know.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how John Cena is in it.
Yeah.
With his new haircut. Was
which
he on? I haven't watched wrestling. He was on like this week or the week before or something.
He was on SmackDown last week. I know he was on Raw last night, and I guess he was on SmackDown this week. I don't know. I haven't watched it. But yeah, I liked him on SmackDown last week because he was like, which man's gonna come out and challenge me? And the man showed up to put him in his place and be like, hey, John, welcome back to my show.
I saw that.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
I couldn't get over his hair.
I know. I
can't nail it down of what about it.
No, neither can he. That's the problem.
It's like
it's getting away.
It's like a 38-year-old anime character. Like I can't nail it down, but whenever I see it, I'm just like, it's I don't know. I can't explain it. It just doesn't look right.
No, it doesn't. But it looks like the hair from a 38-year-old anime character. I like that.
Yeah, like a and not like anime like Dragon Ball Z or anything, but like a what do you call those kind of movies where they're just like a slice of life anime?
Yeah.
Yeah, like this girl just broke up with her boyfriend in San Francisco or Tokyo or wherever it would be, and she's trying to get over him, and she buys a new cat, and like she meets this guy at the coffee store. Like that's the haircut that I see. I don't know why.
Okay.
But it's not stylish. It's just weird. I don't know. It's just so odd. But yeah, it's so weird. He needs to go back to the thing he did before. The military cut that he had?
Yeah, the crew cut, I think.
Crew cut. Yeah, just go back to that. It's so much better. Oh man. He just looks like he's, I don't know, going through a midlife crisis or something. Like he's, I don't know, like he's about to buy a Ferrari.
Well, he sold his Ford GT, which was against the deal he made with Ford, so he got sued for that. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he looks like a guy who's going through a midlife crisis without any money.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Like
Oh man.
he went to a local bar and got an 8-ball and he has no idea what to do with it. Like he looks like he's going through some stuff.
Going through a midlife crisis without any money. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's exactly what
That's
he's.
oh god, that's tremendous. I love that.
Yeah. Like he like 1 minute he wants to buy a pinball machine, the next he wants to buy a Ferrari. Like that's I don't know. It looks odd. It's just unpleasant. But whatever. It's cool. I'm excited to see him in Bumblebee. What movies does he have coming out?
I don't know.
I heard Blockers was pretty good. You said you saw that, right?
I did. It was okay.
I wonder if that's out on Netflix or anything now.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't know about like Amazon or Hulu. I'm pretty sure it's not on Netflix.
I tried to watch this show on Amazon called The Expanse.
I've heard of it.
I just couldn't get into it. I watched the first episode. I'm going to give it a few more. I thought like this almost looks like Battlestar Galactica, the kind of like the sci-fi but like a little bit gritty, like there's some weight to stuff, like literally like there's people who have issues with gravity that aren't on Earth a lot, and when they come to Earth it's all weird.
Okay.
And their spines are a little bit different, and I just couldn't. And there's like in this universe the water and air are rare things to come by, and it's just I could tell there's a lot there, and I think it's a book series.
Probably.
Yeah, and there's a lot there. There's a lot of characters. I don't know. It's gonna take a little bit more. Battlestar Galactica had me hooked immediately. It was like, okay, we're off and running. They just destroyed everything. They destroyed all these planets. They're on the run. Like it was from the start going. This like just took a little bit longer. What's his name? The Punisher.
John Bernthal?
Yes. Is that him?
Who are you looking for? Are you looking for the character name or the actor name?
The actor from The Punisher with John Travolta.
Shoot.
It's not Payne. It was like 2004.
Jane. Thomas Jane.
Thomas Jane. That's it. Yeah, he's in it.
Okay.
I think. Or someone who looks just like him. Oh man, this is terrible. I should be better at this. I just don't have it on the top of my head. I'm pretty sure it was him. There's another actor that looks just like him. No, he's in it. He's in The Expanse. Okay, I just looked it up. But the first 2 seasons are on Amazon, and I'm trying to get into it. I think I gave you my account information, so you can check it out whenever you want.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think you'd be into it. It's cool sci-fi stuff. It definitely, I don't know, but I want to see more of it. I guess I'll just say that. I'm gonna give it a few more episodes before I give it up. Just I need something to sink my teeth into.
Here's the next thing that John Cena is doing.
Yeah.
It's called Project Extraction.
Okay.
The blurb about it is 2 ex-Special Forces soldiers must escort a group of civilians along Baghdad's quote-unquote highway of death to the safety of the Green Zone.
Oh boy.
Starring John Cena and Jackie Chan.
Okay. I'm back in. Some of the names in the movie. Oh wait, no. Some of the names in the movie: Chris Van Horn, John Cena, Jackie Lou, Raider, Knox, and Hayden. Like this is straight up from the 90s.
Yeah.
All it's missing is oh man, what's his name? Oh my god, why did I just forget his name? Oh, what's his face? The guy who went to Russia now.
Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal. That's all it's missing. Raider, Knox, and Hayden. They sound like Mortal Kombat characters.
Yeah, they do. Or just like generic like Streets of Rage fighters.
Exactly. Okay, so talk about midlife crisis, right? For just a second, I'm going to go on a tangent here. Not a tangent, but something that I saw, and I thought if I had money and that I would totally get this.
Okay.
I saw someone post in a group they bought a Street Fighter arcade machine.
Okay.
It's like you can buy them at Target and Walmart for like $300.
Oh, they have. I've seen some of them. Like they only have like 2 or 3 games on them though. They're kind of ridiculous.
Right, you put them together, and it's a straight up arcade machine. It's a little bit smaller than I think the bigger ones, but it's $300. You're not paying $600.
Yeah.
And you put them together, it's kind of like IKEA. But here's what you do: you mod it out.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, you take a Raspberry Pi, and I saw on YouTube. You take the Raspberry Pi, you order the fight sticks and stuff from Amazon. It has all the links to it. And you put the Raspberry Pi in there. You put it's just basically like a 32 gigabyte card you put on it. You put the games on it. And then you just hook it up and you can put the new joysticks or whatever on there as well. And it's basically a mod for it. So then it plugs right into the TV screen. You just you have to screw a little hole into the where the sticks or whatever on for like an on-off switch, and it turns that on, and bam, it's the LCD screen, it's the arcade machine. There was a Mortal Kombat one that I saw, and I was like, that's awesome. And then you have 900 games on the Retro Pi, and it's a modded arcade machine in your home, and it plays all like 900, like it plays Marvel vs. Capcom, all those games. Yeah. All the Mortal Kombat games, all the Street Fighter games, Killer Instinct, Super Mario World, like all sorts of different things. You name it, whatever was in the arcade, it's on that Retro Pi. And I thought, oh my! And someone posted in one of the groups, and I was like, that is awesome. And he was like, it's the $300 for that thing, and then maybe like $60 for the rest of the stuff. Yeah, maybe a little bit more. Yeah. So you probably spend around $400 for the whole thing. And I thought, man, if I had money to waste, that would be neat as hell.
Right.
Anyway, sorry, got sidetracked. So I dipped into that black hole for a few hours the other day, and I was like, oh, it'd be nice to have a little arcade machine. But anyway, let's get back to the movies. John Cena and his Bumblebee movie. Into the Spider-Verse, still the top, huh?
It's still plugging away. Again, a little over 13, not too far behind Bumblebee. Yeah. And, keeps on keeping on.
Just keeps on trucking. Yeah, man, I want to see that again. It's so good.
It really is.
Yeah, like it's worth the hype. I even had my old this person I haven't talked to in forever. She was like, "Tell me you've seen Spider-Verse." I was like, "Yes." I was like, "It's so freaking good." Just people that I don't expect to enjoy that kind of movie or enjoy like going to see a movie, let alone an animated movie, and they loved it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It blew them away. So, but yeah, it's great. Let's see here. What else we got? What are some new releases coming out?
This week is one I forgot about completely. Is Replicas. It's Keanu Reeves and Alice Eve, and I had completely forgotten about it. Because I don't know anything about it. Couldn't tell you. Can't help you. I have no idea. We've got A Dog's Way Home, because there aren't enough movies out that make you want to cry right now.
Have you seen the trailer for that?
I have, like 18,000 times, and I cry
the entire
every time.
Movie.
It does. It literally does show the whole movie in 2 minutes.
From beginning to end, you see the entire plot of the movie.
And it's not a thing of like, oh, they show what happens to be the end of the movie, but you don't know it. No, the trailer literally starts with, I'm a little dog. They brought me home. They loved me. I loved them. I ran away. I found my way back. I ran into the front yard into my owner's arms. The end of the trailer. Oh, and
they
movie.
literally find the dog at the end of the trailer.
Yes, they do. They literally do. And I mean, it can't be any... there's no ambiguity to it. Like, they tell the entire story of the movie. I've never seen, like, a Cliff Notes version of a movie before it's come out before.
For real. It was crazy when
it's just nuts.
Yeah.
And oh my god. Because, like, the first time...
I thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was legit, like, this is a joke where it's like, look how bad trailers have gotten. We're just showed this whole movie in a trailer. It's a real movie they put in the theaters.
Yeah, it's going to be a real movie, and they've showed... Because the first time that I saw that trailer was like, it wasn't even, like, an actual trailer. It was, like, the production... It was, like, the story of the dog that they used. Who became a therapy dog afterwards. It's really great, cute kind of stuff. But even during that, they showed some of the same bits and pieces from the trailer. And they still show, like, the last thing they show is the whole thing of, like, it can't be. And he turns around and he's like, Bella? And the dog comes running up. And I'm like, what in the hell are you doing? What is this? Like, what?
Yeah, it's so bad.
Oh, God. So I'm like, okay, seen that already.
Yeah. Yep.
And then we've got the upside, which I'm looking forward to. Regardless of the controversy around both of the leads now.
What controversy?
Well, because, Kevin Hart doesn't like gay people, apparently.
Oh, yeah. I saw he went on Ellen, right? And he talked to her about that, like...
And then came out, like, the next day and was like, I just want to make sure to remind everybody that I'm really sorry that y'all got upset. And I'm just like, dude, stop. Just shut up and go away for a while.
Yeah.
Because that's always the problem. The apologies are never, I'm sorry for the hateful things that I said. It's, I'm sorry y'all got mad at some stuff. It's like,
yeah, I mean, I understood his apology. Like, that was a time where people just got away with saying that, and he didn't realize who he was hurting. And that's an honest apology. When I saw that, I was like, that's an honest, like, back in the day, people said terrible things, especially towards, the gay community.
Look at James Gunn.
Right.
He came out with a much better... His first apology was kind of like that. Yeah. It was kind of like, I can't believe I have to...
It's cringy, right?
Yeah, it was just like, oh man, this was not good. And then came out again and was like, let me clarify what I meant. I thought this had been addressed already. I'm sorry. It wasn't like, I'm sorry people were offended by things I said. It was, I'm sorry I offended people. What I said was really stupid.
Right.
Kevin didn't quite do that so much.
Right.
Even...
Well, what's the other controversy?
Well, and because Bryan Cranston is playing someone with a disability. And
why is that a controversy?
Because there are disabled actors who you could be hiring for these jobs.
I don't know.
Here's my thing. It's a valid point, but, and I say this knowing I'm going to get people mad at me. It's a valid point, but you're not going to find... I'm sorry. You can't find actors to completely fit a role. You can't. If you're going to say, this character has epilepsy, you can't then only hire epileptics. You can't.
Yeah.
If this character is a quadriplegic. I tell you what, you find me a quadriplegic actor who can knock this out of the park, go for it. And I think that's kind of the message of, they probably didn't even look. And I think there is merit to that. There's absolutely merit to that argument. But at the end of the day, you have to remember two things. One, acting is about being somebody you're not.
Right.
And this is just kind of part of it. I understand, I am sympathetic to groups, because this has, Scarlett Johansson and Ghost in the Shell written all over it again. There are some times where the lack of representation is just blatant. And I get that. Emma Stone, who played somebody who was supposed to be half Asian, or whatever that was, whatever movie that was a few years ago, which was laughable to the point of, like, this is just dumb beyond all measure.
Yeah.
I get it. And I
see his quote here. He said, as actors, we're asked to be other people, to play other people. He said during an interview with the Press Association, if I, as a straight older person, and I'm wealthy, am very fortunate, does that mean I can't play a person who's not wealthy? Does that mean I can't play someone who's homosexual? Where's the restriction?
Exactly. And makes
sense.
Yeah, and he makes a good point. He doesn't, and that's what's great. We're talking about, people making public statements. I liked Cranston's statement because it invited the conversation. It didn't say, I do this because I can. It's saying, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
And he's got a point there. We should be talking about this. And at the end of the day, I'm all for and I think here's the problem. It's that he's a name that's recognizable, and so they went after him.
Yeah.
And I mean the producers. They went after him to be in the movie because he was going to be a draw.
Yeah.
And
yeah, exactly.
And that's, I understand that's part of it. The business of movies is a business, but I do think that there needs to be a broader kind of search for something like this. I think because let's be honest, how many disabled actors can you think of?
Right. Yeah, and he didn't. Yeah, you're absolutely right. He didn't turn it down. He said, "We live in a world of criticism. If we're willing to get up and try something, we have to be able to willing also take criticism." So
yeah,
he definitely
he knew what was coming. He knew by taking this role he was going to make some people mad. But he was.
I mean, I guess I never thought of that because I mean, you have you have Tom Hanks playing someone disabled. You have Leonardo DiCaprio winning awards for playing someone disabled, and they never got this kind of, I guess, criticism, right?
Yeah, and I mean, Jared Leto, who famously won for Dallas Buyers Club,
right?
And everybody just kind of went, whoa, 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 whoa! Now hold the phone here. You couldn't have found one trans actor, really?
Right.
And that's, again, it's a valid point, and it's a conversation that absolutely needs to be had.
Right.
And I am all for, at the end of the day, if there's, and this is the part that we'll never know. It's in the audition process. Was there enough representation by actors that did more match the kind of role, and at the end of the day, they just said, you know what, this other person was better. Right. And that's kind of what's always going to suck about Hollywood.
The draw. I mean, that's just that's just a part of that business is the draw as well. That's always going to be there.
Yeah.
They're going to look at someone like Bryan Cranston and be like, he's one of the most popular actors on television. He is a get if we were able to get him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I think yeah.
I can think of I mean, there's Marlee Matlin, who's deaf, and I got to be honest with you, I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah.
On anybody else, I honestly am, and therein lies the problem. Mm-hmm. And that's why I can empathize and say, you know what, I get it, I do.
Yeah.
Like there are no shortage of people like me in the movies, not by a long shot. So that's why I don't get bent out of shape like so many people do when they don't cast a straight white dude in a role. I have the entirety of Hollywood history to look back on and say, here I am in a movie.
Yeah, it's funny. I was listening to Brian Michael Bendis talk about the characters he created, and he famously did Miles Morales, who will now not only is Miles, he was a household name for people like us.
Oh, he's a megastar now. Like
now he's beyond,
Yeah.
He's going to be on the same level as like Tony Stark and Bruce Banner and stuff like that.
He will be in the mainline MCU in the coming years.
Oh, absolutely.
Without question. And I mean, we always kind of figured that at some point, but I think now they're going to have to hit the gas on that.
Right. And he's famously made, he made Jessica Jones, Miles Morales, and Riri Williams. And when he did Riri, he said someone asked him, and he was like, it was such an innocent question, and they didn't realize how racist it was. When they were like, well, you already did that. You didn't have to do it again.
Yeah.
why did you've already done that. Why didn't you do something else? And he thought, what do you mean? And he was like, well, you've already made a popular character of color take on, the mantle of a popular superhero. You didn't have to do it again. He was like, could you imagine if someone did that in the 60s where they were like, you already have an Iron Man. Why are you making a Bruce Banner? Why are you making a Reed Richards? Why are you making a Professor X?
Yeah.
And he was just floored at how they didn't realize what that sounded like.
Exactly. Like, I mean, how many, Captain America was succeeded by Bucky in how many different incarnations? I mean, you have...
Well, not for a while. He was dead for a very long time.
Well, but I mean, the point being, when some hero falls, the next one to take up the slack, Wolverine. How many different people have taken up that mantle, and how many of them have all been at least white in portrayal, if not in heritage? Because
that's true. His daughter is probably the main one.
Yeah,
I would say, but you're absolutely right. I mean, just it's this like Batman. Look at all the Robins.
Exactly, they're all white.
Right, exactly. And they finally started doing stuff with the newer ones, but they didn't really they didn't do anything with them.
Yeah.
Once Damon hit, it was like, okay, well, we can't do better than his son. For someone to be close to him or whatever. And it was once they gave him Damian, they were like, well, all these other Robins are always not going to feel like Robin because that's his son.
Yeah.
You know, like how are we going to introduce these other characters? You know, and they just went nowhere. Like Spotlight, he didn't really go anywhere. You know, what's her name? Man, there's been a few that were female. I just forget their name because they wouldn't do anything with them.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, Flash. You know, Green Lantern. They finally introduced. Let's see here. How many? There's like 6 Green Lanterns now.
Yeah, and I mean, but let's look at it. You know, I mean, you know, Kyle, and even people. You know, Damian is his heritage is arguably what he's half white and half whatever Talia is, which could arguably be some kind of Middle Eastern, depending on what race his heritage is, because it's always a little in question. But the fact is, he's always just kind of portrayed as white.
Right.
So it's just kind of written out of everying.
Oh yeah.
You know?
But I mean, the first Green Lantern, you have Alan Scott, Hal Jordan. Well, Alan Scott's not really one, but he was one.
Yeah.
Then you had Guy Gardner.
Yeah.
And it was Jon Stewart where they finally got some color and some diversity for the Green Lanterns, and then they immediately went to Kyle Rayner.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Simon Baz, and there's a new one, I forget her name though, Jessica.
Yeah. But I mean that's the thing. Look what they've done with them. You know, they're not. They haven't really done anything of any note with him.
Right. Yeah. No, it's always Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
it's gonna go back to that, and that's the thing. And so it's crazy. And I think it's comic book fans are obsessive, especially the ones that still read. I know I'm included. And it's like you get so used to your character, and when anything gets thrown a wrench into it, they freak out. Like I don't have to imagine. I remember when they made Thor Jane, and everyone lost their mind.
Yeah.
They're like, they made Thor a female, but it's Jason Aaron's run of Thor with that is the best I've ever read.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, even when like people get freaked out when it's something different. Like even when Dan Slott, when he did the Octo, I was listening to an interview with him, and he put in the Superior Spider-Man story. He got death threats.
Sure.
Like he had to get bodyguards from Marvel. Disney had to hire bodyguards for him.
Yeah.
Because of the death threats he got, because he wanted to show people something a little bit different. And that's what it freaks people out.
Yeah, Silk must drive people nuts because not only is she a female spider person, but she's also Korean. Like that must drive people up a wall. And I'm just like, get over it. Yeah. Just get the hell over it. So I'm all for, Sony has talked about, they're going to do like an all-female Spider-Verse team movie. Good. Go for it. Yes. I want to see these people mad. Because the more that they're mad about things like that, the farther off they can get pushed to the fringe, and then just leave them there. It's like
inclusivity. It's
like people who complain about progressiveness in Star Wars, and they're like, we don't want. God, I can't tell you how many times
it's always been progressive.
I know, that's what's nuts.
People just didn't have Twitter in the 70s.
Well, and they didn't. They're like, this isn't the Star Wars I grew up with. Really? It was about overthrowing an oppressive regime and making sure that people counted. And by the way, one of the lead characters was a really badass chick. Like, I mean, that's, did you forget that? Yes, you did, because you grew up to be a horrible person.
Yeah, exactly.
There's just,
And Miles Morales makes so much sense. I was listening to Bendis. He's like, yeah, we were thinking about, because at the time with the Ultimate Universe, they were going through a phase of where they're like, hey, we really screwed up with the Ultimatum stuff. We got to do something that's different. And he was looking back at what was a mistake that he did with the Ultimate Universe, and one of them he thought was, if a spider bit a kid in Queens, he probably wouldn't be white.
Probably not.
He'd probably be someone who's mixed, which is perfect for Miles Morales. Like, it made sense. It makes sense in 2019, or back then, or whatever, 2004, or whatever. Like, it would make sense that a kid in Queens, odds are he's probably not white. And I thought that was really cool. I was like, that makes perfect sense. And I don't know, it freaks people out, but they'll have to get over it.
Yeah, or they can just not go watch it, which is fine by me. I don't want to have to deal with seeing them in the same theater anyway.
Right, exactly.
I gotta deal with enough stupid crap. I don't need somebody being racist at the same time.
Right, and I think it's a vocal minority.
It is. They are the loudest group, and they make everybody else look awful.
Yeah, right.
But
most people don't say anything because they enjoyed it, and that's the unfortunate truth. Because like that's great, but it's the people that are like, I'm gonna get on Yelp immediately.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna tell everybody on my Facebook and Twitter and be freaking crazy. Yeah. Most people see something, they're like, hey, that was great. They tell a few friends, and that's it.
Yeah.
There's no Facebook post. There's no Twitter post. They're just happy they saw it. That's 90% of people. And you get some people that are just fuming at it. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, we got totally off track there.
Yeah, a little bit. Moral of the story, more representation, more inclusivity, more diversity, more of life. You know, you can only... it's only going to make things better to bring stories to life through different viewpoints.
Yeah. And that was the thing, is Brian Michael Bendis, he has a mixed family, and he was like, I want my daughters to have more flavors when they go out there and try to ingest pop culture. They more than just one flavor. There needs to be multiple flavors. And if they like the one flavor, great, but there should be other flavors out there for them to go, you know what? That's my flavor.
Right.
But yeah, so I don't know. It's really cool. Sci-Fi does a whole, like, if you look up Sci-Fi Wire and then you look up whatever your famous your whatever comic book artist or writer you like, they have like a 40-minute interview for all of them. It's pretty cool.
Very nice.
Yeah. But yeah, man. So we also had the Golden Globes.
Yeah, we did. I did not watch because I had to work, but evidently, Christian Bale won for Vice and said, "Thank you, Satan, for inspiring me." And that,
who is this? Who the fuck is this guy? He looks like Christian Bale.
Yeah.
I was like, is he playing a character? And then I realized, no, that's right. He talks like that.
That's what he looks like. That's what he sounds like.
Yep. Yeah, he's just so different in his roles. So
yeah, that's that's part of why people hire him. You know?
Yep. Oh yeah, but it was when he said that, I was like, oh, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
It's like it's gonna make some people mad. Nobody in that room is gonna get mad at that joke, but
they all laughed.
Yeah. They're also probably a little drunk because it's the Golden Globes, so that helps.
Yes. Oh yeah.
but we had some winners were a little easy to predict. I mean, best TV series drama went to The Americans because I think it has like forever, and I think it's on its last season too. I think.
Never seen it.
I haven't either.
I have too much espionage going on in the real world.
Yeah, right. No shit.
Turn on the TV, you got politicians being arrested and lawyers being. It's just it's too real.
Yeah, that's fair.
For me to go, hey, I'm gonna watch a drama about that. Just turn on the news. Government shut down. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, it's all. That's why. Just give me Game of Thrones, where we have dragons and how ineffective walls are.
That can't come on soon enough. Did you see the teaser for HBO's new shows?
Did. I did.
Watchmen. Watchmen's on Netflix, by the way. So if you're itching for some Watchmen, go enjoy it.
It's there. It holds up. Like it's a good watch. I'm not as hardcore about it one way or another. I know. Sorry, couldn't help it. I'm not hardcore about it one way or another as some people. I had never read it going into it. I really didn't know anything about Zack Snyder going into it because I don't even think I'd seen 300 at that point.
Really?
Yeah, I really do because this was that long ago.
I enjoyed 300.
And like when I saw Watchmen, I was like, okay, well that was good. Like just seeing it on its own merit, I was like, okay, like I enjoyed that. They told a story. I got the point. And then as time has gone on, I could see a lot of the Snyderisms in it, and what it drew from the comics, what it left out from the comics, but it didn't color the perception for me. I haven't gone back and watched it since, just because it's a really long movie.
Yeah,
but
it's really long, and that's the thing is, it's perfect for Snyder.
Yes,
it is the dark dystopian future with these Charleston characters.
Exactly. The problem is they let him take that image and apply it to everything he wanted. And
exactly, yeah. He took the paint by numbers for that, and he put it onto DC, and that's not how it is.
Yeah. Well, the other parts of DC anyway.
Exactly. It's like it's cool they mash up. Like Doomsday Clock is great. The way they're introducing these Watchmen characters into the DC universe in comic book form is awesome because they do not belong. They know something is wrong. The fact that we've talked about it before with the Button and the Flash and the whole Rebirth #1. Did you ever read that?
I don't think I did. No.
Rebirth #1 can be read just by itself because it's honestly one of the best one shots I've ever read
Nice.
because it's Barry, it's Wally West basically disappearing. He's running. He knows his time is up. No one knows who he is. No one knows who he was. He's just fading from existence, and he knows someone is behind it, and he can't figure out who. And then I guess it's a spoilers for it, but towards the end, like Barry remembers, and he talks about in his dialogue or whatever. He's like something is gone from comics right now. Essentially, he doesn't say comics, but he's like something is gone from this world.
Oh, that's yeah. I did read this. I do remember this. That's right, because he feels that like the hope and joy, like the colorfulness of the world is not there. I remember that.
The love's not there. He was like Ollie and well, wait, what's her name? Wow, my mind just went blank. The voice.
Oh, Black Canary.
Black Canary. He's like they used to be a couple. They used to be loved. They used to be together, and they're not. Like Lois and Clark. What's going on? Like everything was different, and it was like. And then you find out near the end who's all behind it. Dr. Manhattan is like, yeah, the love is gone, and that's why that introduction is awesome because the Watchmen universe is very much dark and depressing and whatever, and the DC universe should be more of like you have Superman, you have all these bright characters, and it's okay for Batman to be dark, but not everybody.
Right.
So anyway, that's what I loved about it. When I saw Watchmen, have you read the book?
What the original series?
The comic?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good, and it's also one of those like at the time it was before its time.
Oh yeah. Oh, by miles. Yeah.
And you could tell so many things from it, came from it that did a lot of the same stuff, sometimes even better. So I loved the movie when I originally saw it. The opening, and it wasn't. I forget because the one on Netflix. There's a maybe it's the extended version.
Probably.
Because I thought it opened up with the Bob Dylan song.
No, it opens with comedian getting thrown out the window.
I'm sorry, comedian getting thrown out the window.
Yeah.
But it seems like there was a lot more in the Netflix version that I was watching because it was like they're debating on television. They're talking about what's going on with Reagan, or Nixon, and all this other stuff.
I don't quite remember that.
Right, and so when I was watching the Netflix one, I was like, this is taking a very long time for the comedian to get thrown out of the window. Because I thought it opened up with that. He watched the news, and I think what they did for the theoretical release is they showed just a clip of him watching the news, and then his apartment gets broken into.
Right, I think that,
But the next Netflix version, they go right to that news, and then they show the people debating on television and talking about what's going on in the times and how people are afraid with the nuclear, and like it goes for like 5 minutes.
Very of the comics. Very of the comics.
Yeah. So I would recommend it. Watch the extended version. It's gonna be like Lord of the Rings with the extended version. It's gonna be like 4 hours long.
Yeah.
But it fills in a lot of stuff, and once I get to that scene with the Bob Dylan song, and it's just a cut through history, like an alternate history.
Yeah,
and it's to gather around people. I'm just like, this is awesome. This is Zack Snyder.
Yeah, that hooked me the first time I watched it. I was like, this is cool. Like this is really interesting.
And if you pay close attention, there's a scene with the what's his name, the hawk guy, the owl.
Owlman, yeah.
Owlman. There's a scene where he's punching somebody. And it's a close-up, and it's in front of a theater.
Yes, I remember this.
And it says Gotham in the background, and it has the original Batman cover #1 as posters.
I remember that. Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's cool. That's really cool. So yeah, there's little stuff like that, and like it's one of my favorite comic book movie. It's definitely slow. It's definitely whatever, but I like the idea of it. I like the loneliness of Dr. Manhattan and like his realization and just all the different characters and how like it was. They tackle real life stuff, and what was so great about it is they couldn't punch. You can't punch your way out of it.
Yeah.
He's like, you think I'm gonna go on about my plan, and it happened 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, that was
like
at the time when I first saw that. Like that was the first time I'd ever seen a villain actually do something like that, and I was just like, oh my god.
It's so good. It throws out just cliches.
Yeah.
It stomps on them, and it was just before its time. Alan Moore did that, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
go read it, go watch it. It's on Netflix. It's really good, and the TV show David Lindelof. So if you like Lost, if you like that kind of stuff, I understand if you don't. But I love Lost, and so I'll watch anything that he does. But yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to see what HBO does with the TV show, because how do you make? I don't think it's an exact, like, I don't want it to be an exact, like, this is the Watchmen book. I think it's like in the Watchmen universe.
It's a sequel.
It's a sequel. That can't be.
It looks like a sequel, yeah. Because
Rorschach is in the trailer.
Yeah, but is he?
Maybe it's not the Rorschach. Maybe
it's not, because you notice like his mask doesn't change. It's got eye holes cut in it, and Jeremy Irons plays old Ozymandias.
Okay, so this is awesome. I'm in.
Yeah,
I want to see, because I want to see whoever is like, hey, I like that Rorschach character, and I'm going to take on his mantle.
Yeah, it's not a direct sequel to the movie, but it's a spiritual sequel to it.
That's cool. I'm in.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, it looked cool. I loved the style of it. I didn't realize he was playing an old man, Ozymandias.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to see that. HBO, that's going to be the big thing that takes over from Game of Thrones, I think.
Yeah, oh, for sure. You know, after the 6-movie finale that we're going to get.
6-movie finale?
Each episode is going to be like an hour and a half plus.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so it's going to be like 6 movies. It's going to be
I was
insane.
like, did they play in movies now?
No. I mean, kind of. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. But yeah, man. All right. So where are we? Anyway, Golden Globes. So Americans won. I'm sure Game of Thrones will win next year.
Yeah, more than likely. The Kaminsky Method on Netflix won for best TV series, musical, or comedy.
What's that?
I have no clue, man. I couldn't tell you.
The what? Okay, let me look this up.
The Kaminsky Method.
I've never heard of that.
I saw the tile for it on Netflix one day and just never, I didn't pay any attention to it.
I see so many tiles and I'm like, that's not for me.
Yeah, that's mostly what I do too.
My friend, she watched this show called You, which looks creepy.
Okay.
I don't know what it's really about. It looked like some guy that got to know a girl, but you could tell it looked like he just met this girl and everything's going great, and what are the odds of them running into each other and him saving her and all this and you realize it looked like he's a total creep, and he set it all up. And he knows everything about her, and he's outside of her window. It looks like I think it's made by Lifetime, but it went to Netflix. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, so everyone's talking about it. I even had someone at work that was like, have you seen You? I'm like, I saw the trailer and I watched my friend was watching it and it looked very drama. So I don't know. Anyway, sorry. Yeah. So I don't know. I just looked this up. I don't think I've seen this tile. The Kaminsky Method. I thought I did, but I don't think I've seen this.
I forget who's in it. There's somebody big who's in it.
What's his name? Oh, brought me to Netflix. Sorry. Michael Douglas.
Okay, that's not who I was thinking of.
Yeah, Alan Arkin, Michael Douglas, Sarah Barker.
Okay.
Yeah, acting coach and his best friend keep each other laughing as they navigate the ups and downs of getting older.
Sure, okay, why not?
Not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
I'm not that old yet. Thankfully, not in a few more years. I'm sure my dad will enjoy that movie or show.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool.
We got best television limited series or motion picture made for television went to The Assassination of Gianni Versace, American Crime Story. What else we got? Best performance by an actor in a TV series drama went to Richard Madden for The Bodyguard.
Okay.
Best performance by an actress in a TV series drama went to Sandra Oh for Killing Eve. Been hearing a lot about that show. Never seen it.
Nope, never seen it either.
Best Performance Actor, TV Series, Musical, or Comedy went to Michael Douglas for The Kaminsky Method. Hey, there you go.
There you go.
Best Performance Actress, TV Series, Musical, or Comedy, Rachel Brosnahan for The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
That's a Netflix show, right?
Amazon Prime.
Amazon. Yeah, my friend said she was watching it. I was like, that sounds like a Marvel. Is that like a? It
Yeah.
sounds like a superhero show. And she's like, nope, couldn't be any different. She said it was like a stand-up comedian in the 50s or 60s.
It's because it's done by Amy Sherman Palladino, who did Gilmore Girls.
Oh, okay. That's
pretty...
cool. That's I've never heard of a show where it's like a stand-up singer or stand-up comedian in the 50s or 60s or whatever it was. That's female. Like that's a show I've never seen before. So I was like, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I want to check that out.
Best Performance Actor, Limited Series, etc., etc. Darren Criss for The Assassination of Gianni Versace. Actress in Limited Series, etc., etc. Patricia Arquette for Escape at Dannemora. Which is something I've never heard of.
All these things I've never heard of.
I know. It's award season, so that's what it's going to be.
Right. But to be fair, like, I just don't watch too much TV anymore.
And that's the thing, like, especially when it's TV. I'm like, I couldn't tell you anything about pretty much any of these. Like, the next one, Best Performance by an Actor in a Supporting Role in a Series, Limited Series, or Motion Picture Made for Television went to Ben Whishaw for A Very English Scandal. Never heard of it. Couldn't tell you.
A lot of these are Amazon Prime.
Yeah? Interesting.
I mean, yeah, that's Amazon Prime.
Okay. Best Performance by an Actress, Supporting Role, Series, etc., etc. Went to Patricia Clarkson for Sharp Objects.
Oh, yeah, my friend said this was really good.
Yeah,
I watched the first 2 episodes. It was pretty good.
Yeah, because that's HBO, right?
Yes, that's HBO.
And then we get into the movie ones, and some surprises. Best Motion Picture Drama, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, I remember you telling me. It was like, okay.
Yeah, him and of course Rami Malek won for the same movie, obviously, for Freddie Mercury, and I thought I did not see that coming. I didn't at all.
IGN posted Black Panther 1.
Yeah.
I was like, oh God, Wakanda Forever. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, finally. Like, we're going to get some nerdy movies in there.
We'll get there. Yeah. We'll get there. Give it a minute. Best Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy went to Green Book. Haven't seen it yet. It looks interesting. It's another one that's got a lot of controversy. The Family, and I say this because I'm quoting The Family. They talked about, because there's a thing in the trailer where Mahershala Ali's character is sitting there and doesn't know how to eat fried chicken. And the Family came out and said, "You've got to be kidding us, right?" Wait, I
don't understand. So he can't eat fried chicken in the movie?
He doesn't, like, he's never seen it before.
What do you mean, like they wrote the character that he can't?
Yeah.
That he's never seen fried chicken?
Yeah. And the Family came out and basically just leaned into.
I gotta be honest. I don't know anything about the movie. Is he like from the South, and that's ridiculous?
Yeah, basically, it's like this. It's like the South in like the 50s or 60s. I can't remember. And it's ridiculous. Exactly. That's what the Family came out and said. They went, "You're kidding us, right?"
Who's the actor again?
Mahershala Ali. He's in True Detective next season.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's silly.
Yeah. And it's just kind of like, okay, you really really think this through for a second, okay? And I admit that was my first thought too when I saw the trailer, was this doesn't make any sense from a really bad place.
Who wrote it?
I don't know offhand.
Gotcha. So it was about. See, I don't know anything about the movie. So it was a real it was a real character.
Or it was
a real person. They wrote the movie about, and then they were like, they wrote it as if he's never heard of, he's never seen fried chicken, and he lived in the South in the 60s. Okay, right.
Exactly.
All right.
By itself, like, you could apply that to anybody, and it sounds ridiculous.
It sounds ridiculous. Yeah, especially yeah. That's like, well, he grew up in New York. And he's never had a slice of pizza.
Exactly. It's that same. It's that same kind of thing. I'll still watch it just because it's Mahershala Ali and Michael Shannon, and
cool.
And that's a duo that I'll show up for that for sure. But it's taken me a long time to want to watch it. You remember Michael Shannon?
But he's in that movie. I just looked it up and it says Viggo
Mortensen. I don't know why I do that. I always confuse those two.
I'm like, I love both actors, but I was like,
did-
that guy looks like Aragorn.
Yeah, I do that all the time, and I don't know why. I switch him and Michael Shannon all the time. It's nuts, and I don't know I do it. Just
So
like,
when you think of Michael Shannon, what role do you think of him as in?
as Zod, Michael Shannon was Zod. I know that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, I think of him as Boardwalk Empire.
And that's fair. See, I didn't watch a lot of
Nelson.
Boardwalk Empire.
That was the first time he's been in a ton of stuff before that, and
Oh,
every
yeah.
time I see the things that he's in before them, I'm like, oh yeah, that was him.
Yeah.
But it was Boardwalk Empire, and it was just such a great role because his all the characters around the main character were just so fascinating.
Yeah.
And it was his fall from grace, where he went from an FBI agent to murdering somebody to becoming a mobster. And it's like, it's just this, it's such an interesting role.
Nice.
Because he plays that villain he played basically Zod, or any role you see him as where he's like a cop or something like that. And he just goes evil.
Yeah.
And it's such a good role, but that's what I see him as. And that's when I saw Zod, I was like, oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
He can get angry really well. But yeah. So anyway, sorry.
But we talked about Raimi winning for Best Actor. Best Performance by an Actress, Motion Picture Drama went to Glenn Close in The Wife.
Okay.
Never heard of it. But it's Glenn Close, so there's a shock, really.
Right.
Like,
shocker.
Best Performance Actor, Musical or Comedy, Christian Bale in Vice. We talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, here it is. Viggo Mortensen, Green Book.
Yeah.
Wait, that's supposed to be Michael Shannon. They wrote that wrong.
Yeah.
Best Actress, Musical or Comedy went to Olivia Colman in The Favorite. That was another one that I knew nothing about except that it exists. I know nothing about that movie other than it's a movie.
What's the name again?
The Favorite.
The Favorite. I've never seen it.
It's like, and it's another like British royalty at some point. I can't remember exactly who it's around, but it's not it's not modern. It's kind of older, I think. I don't remember.
That kind of stuff doesn't fascinate me. It doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of things coming around that time period. I'm just like,
yeah.
It's a bunch of people hunting ducks and very rich and very.
Yeah. Best Supporting Actor.
Looks expensive.
Yeah. Best Supporting Actor in a Motion Picture, Mahershala Ali for Green Book.
Mm-hmm.
Best Supporting Actress, Regina King, If Beale Street Could Talk. Best Director went, kind of unsurprisingly, to Alfonso Cuarón for Roma, which also later went on to win Best Foreign Picture.
Okay.
Very cool. Best Screenplay went to Peter Farrelly, Nick Vallelonga, Brian Curie for Green Book.
I've never seen Roma. It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix, yeah. I'm going to skip this one and come back to it. Best Original Score went to Justin Hurwitz for First Man. I thought was an interesting choice.
Okay.
Best Original Song, here was not a surprise, Shallow from A Star Is Born.
Mm-hmm.
And my favorite category of the night, because Best Motion Picture Animated went to Into the Spider-Verse.
Yes.
And I was thrilled.
In the year of, look at these other movies. Ralph Breaks the Internet, which was fantastic. Yep. Incredibles 2, Isle of Dogs, and what is it, Mirai, I think. Mirai, yeah. Spider-Man, yeah. Man, I'm telling you, I'm hearing from people who don't really like comic book movies, and they don't watch animated, and they're like, that was fantastic.
Yeah. It's just a good movie. Hmm? That's all it takes. It's just a good movie.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
But
that's cool.
So that was the Golden Globes. No real big headlines. No new controversies per se.
What were some old controversies?
Ricky Gervais.
Oh yeah.
That was,
it was relentless one year, right?
For like 3 years in a row, pretty much.
Oh, gotcha.
But,
yeah, that's right.
They kind of steered away from that and went, maybe these headlines aren't exactly the best thing for us.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Not a big newsworthy kind of show. Nothing seismic, except maybe Spider-Man. But
yeah,
and did you see like IGN named Spider-Verse its movie of the year?
yeah,
I was like, that's awesome. Like,
yep,
so cool.
oh yeah,
And it's
yeah.
have you read the script?
No.
Oh, go because Sony put it out online. Go read the script. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm torn because I really loved Infinity War just because of 10 years in the making.
Yeah, but it's not complete. It's not a self-contained story.
You're right. Yeah, Spider-Man definitely was a more self-contained movie, a better self-contained movie.
Yeah, like it's like that you can jump in and watch by yourself. You don't need to know anything else because they explain it.
It's true.
Multiple times to the point where they make fun of how often they have to explain it, which is great.
Yeah, that's a movie I'm gonna have on repeat a lot.
Yeah.
When by the way, Infinity War on Netflix now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and it works now too.
Oh, yeah.
So,
what do you mean it works?
when it first launched, like people couldn't find it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What?
And not intentionally. Like that. Like when it dropped on Netflix, it was like kind of people couldn't
like
find
hidden?
it. Yeah. They fixed it because it wasn't obviously meant to be, but it was just one of those things of like, hey, we're looking for Infinity War. Where is it? They went, it's there. People went, no, it's not.
We don't see it.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, man, I put it on and fast forward all the way to the Thor scene. It's like, that's so cool.
That's fair.
But yeah, man, that's the Spider-Verse is definitely one I'm picking up, man. I hope by then I have a nice TV, and a nice player with it because it's so beautiful. That on like imagine that on like one of those OLED screens.
I'll take that on the thing that Samsung debuted the other day.
What did they debut?
They debuted a thing, and I don't remember the size of it. I think it was 72-inch. It's a micro LED screen.
Wow.
And it's nuts. It's
micro LED.
Micro LED.
What?
It's wild, and it's one of those things that's like this thing. It like in 10 years, it's going to be affordable.
It's right. It's OLED of the time.
Yeah, and it's just you look at it, and it's modular is the word I'm looking for. The way they put the thing together, and it's just bonkers. It's insane. If you
don't like modular because you can still see the lines.
That's that's the thing. But you've got to get like right up on it to see it.
I don't know if I got a TV, I would not want it to be modular, and I imagine they'll make ones that are not.
I think
here's a television.
Yeah, I think they'll work on that, but like and again, I think that's just because this is like the first one that they're showing.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah, it's called The Wall.
No, The Wall was last year, I think.
This is January 6th, 2019. Oh, yeah. Okay, I guess maybe it was just talking about other stuff.
Yeah, because The Wall was like last year or year before.
Gotcha. But yeah, I see that. It's so bright and show Paris 75-inch micro LED.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Yep.
Yeah, that's.
I'll hopefully they'll drive down the price of OLED because that's good enough for me.
Right.
Yeah, maybe in a year or two once man, oh man, Smash Mouth was right. You know, I saw this earlier today where years start coming and they really don't stop coming.
No, they really don't.
Oh man, the bills just pile up. Oh god.
And
one day I'll be able to afford a nice TV like that.
Yeah. And you know, if you hit the ground running, you're actually going to trip and fall over.
Right.
You're not going to be on balance. You need to hit the ground rolling. Like that's how that works.
That's very true.
I tell you, man, pawn shops. Like that's where I got my TV. It's a great, awesome little TV. I've had it for like 2. Yeah. I had this thing for like 2, maybe 3 years now.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm moving in February, and there's so many things I have to buy that. Oh man, it's annoying. The amount of money I'm gonna have to drop all at once, it sucks.
Yeah.
I need a second job. I need to meet like, what do they call them? Like a sugar mama. That's what
there you go. That's what you need.
I need someone to just be like, hey, you know what? Let's buy everything and just hang out with me for a weekend. Anyway. Oh man. Where were we?
There's a new Captain Marvel teaser.
Yeah.
Just like we did. Let's just get away from that.
Yeah. I thought it was great. It was probably the best thing they've put out for the movie.
Yeah.
What do you? Okay, so you think this is gonna set up Skrulls like the Secret Invasion?
It is, and I don't want that.
No, you don't want like them to be like, guess what? Black Widow was a Skrull the entire time.
Because by the end of Secret Invasion, everybody was a freaking Skrull. I hated Secret Invasion.
God.
Secret Invasion and its tie-ins lasted 8 months, and it ruined my life because everybody was a Skrull by the end of it, and I didn't care. I did not care anymore. Like
I think Secret Invasion. I think it's a great idea.
I agree. And here's the thing. Obviously they're gonna do it.
What if at the end of Avengers, one of them dies and it's a Skrull?
That I'm okay with.
That would set up that would set up not only Phase 4, but then you're talking about the Fantastic Four and X-Men and all these characters, and having the Skrull in the background of every movie. Every movie you're going into, you're wondering who's a Skrull, and that will just be like a side thing.
Yeah.
That would be fucking nuts.
I look, because I think they could do it right. So
do one character. Don't make it like all of them, of course. But like if one character like Hawkeye dies in it, and suddenly his chin turns weird, the whole audience is gonna go, "Oh my god, that's a Skrull!" Because we just watched
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel. Yeah, I was gonna say Captain America. My mind is gone tonight, people. So I'm so sorry. But yeah, like it's gonna be fresh on everyone's minds. It's so perfect.
Yeah.
And it was in the 90s. That's before all of this Avenger stuff. Oh my god.
It does, obviously it plants those seeds, but
plants those seeds.
It's
gonna set up the Secret Invasion for Phase 5 or Phase 4. Man, that's gonna be. I'm gonna love that.
I actually
obviously go ahead.
I would want Secret Invasion to be Phase 5. Let Phase 4 be a rebuilding phase.
But have one or two characters die, and they're like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
Like have it teased or have little hints dropped. Man, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the Skrulls are one of the Fantastic Four's biggest enemies. It would make sense introducing those characters, now you have the Kree Skrull war. Man, that would be awesome. I don't know who it would be. It would have to be one of the Avengers. I don't think it would be one of the Guardians because that wouldn't make sense. I'm thinking it's going to be one of like the humans that don't really like. It's good, maybe like Black Widow or.
Let it be Maria Hill.
Maria Hill, yeah, there you go.
That'll work.
Or what about Samuel Jackson and he's captured? Or what about Agent Coulson?
Ooh, no, because he's Kree. He's part Kree because of Tahiti.
That's true, but is that canon?
Yes, it's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, but is that canon, really?
Yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s canon.
Do they acknowledge any of it in the movies?
No, because they don't talk about it. Like, it doesn't...
I know, that's what I'm just
They have had... No, I'll tell you, because
if they didn't do anything with him, that would be cool.
Because Fury has been on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right. So, okay, so who could it be? Maybe Nick Fury.
I don't like that. I don't think so.
No?
I think that's
it can't be like if Cap dies, I don't want him to turn into a Skrull. That would be interesting.
I mean, then
it wouldn't have been him, but it wouldn't have been him during the whole motivation of this movie.
Yeah, I don't think that makes sense from that standpoint. I'm okay with somebody like Maria Hill. Like, I think that's a character who's always kind of been there and been on the periphery, and somebody who people will recognize.
What if it's Aunt May? That would make no sense. I'm just kidding.
No, because the whole point of the Skrulls was to take over, so you need somebody in S.H.I.E.L.D.
But imagine it being Nick Fury and how infiltrated the Skrulls would be at that point and how much knowledge they would have at that point. He's in Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
And imagine him being captured in Captain Marvel and it's just been a Skrull this whole time. Would be freaking nuts.
I think we'd have found out after he got shot up during...
You're right.
What was it?
I have a
Soldier,
feeling it's just going to be like Hawkeye or Black Widow.
I could see it being Black Widow more than Hawkeye.
Yeah. Who was it in? It was Spider-Woman.
It was Spider-Woman and
Elektra.
Yeah, and it went on and on.
Elektra was like the queen, right?
No, Spider-Woman was.
Spider-Woman was, and we don't have a Spider-Woman. Why hasn't Sony done a Spider-Woman movie?
Because they barely know how to do anything that's not Spider-Man. Like,
It's just yeah. Yeah, I don't know who it would have to be like a ground level character because the Skrulls can they have the ability to use their um to use the whoever's abilities that they copied. They have their abilities whoever they
right.
copied. So, and what was the thing that they said whenever they died, right before they died?
Oh God, I can't remember.
Um, like he is happy or something like that, right?
Yeah, yeah. I
Man,
don't.
that's gonna
God, I don't
bother me.
remember.
He sees you or he forgives you.
It was yeah, it was something weird. I don't. I genuinely don't remember.
Yeah.
But I think that that's something that you have to kind of play out. That's why I think somebody like Hill makes sense, where it's just a person. It's just a
You're right.
regular human.
You're right.
So you don't have to go into like, oh, they can do all of these different things. You can stick to just, oh, they shapeshift.
He loves you.
Okay.
I think it's he loves you. I could be wrong.
I'll take your word for it, man. I don't.
Yeah, he loves you. That's the phrase. Okay, that's right. And they're talking about God, basically. They're God.
Sure.
Which is imagine if in the movie, man, if they just whisper to someone and says he loves you, and then they die, and then the chin appears. People be kind of. Hopefully, every scene's Captain Marvel because they'd be like, why do they have Thanos' chin?
Yeah, right.
It's gonna confuse a lot of grandpas. But the comic book fans, if he says he loves you, I'm telling you, the ones who are obsessed over that, they'll be like, that's it. It's the Skrulls.
They'll freak. Oh yeah, they'll freak. Oh, in a heartbeat.
I hope they do that in Captain Marvel. I hope they
Yes.
talk about that.
That has to be something that happens at some point.
Yes, and the Skrull cows. Do you remember those?
Oh God, the Skrull cows. Oh jeez. Yes,
Man,
I remember
I'm
the
so
Skrull
excited.
cows. Oh.
Oh man, it just opens up such a possibility with all this stuff. I'm just so excited for this.
Sure, that's okay. That's one way to put it.
I can't wait for Captain Marvel, man. I think it's gonna be great. All the '90s references and the Skrulls and stuff. It's just perfect.
Yeah, it's I'm excited for it. I'm definitely hyped.
Yeah, and I love the like who done it or who is a Skrull. Like that's gonna imagine they play that out there for like a year.
Ugh.
Like if someone dies in it and it's like, well, who's the Skrulls? You remember when The Simpsons was like, who killed Mr. Burns, and like everyone was talking about it.
Yeah.
I think they could totally do that with this. Like, who's a Skrull? I imagine kids, sitting at lunch or on the playground, if they have recess anymore, are going to sit there and obsess over like, well, who's a Skrull? Is it going to be? Is it this guy? Is it this guy? And anyone they introduce, are they a Skrull? Like, I think I don't know. I think that's awesome.
Okay, so my follow-up question is, how do you keep that relevant through all of the different movies?
Well, you tie it in just like they did with the Ultron stuff was tied into a lot of it.
Except
the Thanos stuff was tied into all of it.
Well, but here's the thing though. A lot of that was kind of tangential to the actual story. The Infinity Stones were never the focus of some of the movies
I think this sets the seeds.
Yeah, I think that's I agree. But I think going forward, like through Phase 4 and even into Phase 5, like if you run the risk of the problems of a comic book crossover event miring everything down, if it takes away the it has the risk. It has the risk of taking away the identity from each individual movie, whatever they may be going forward, in the service of Skrulls.
True, but they put the seeds of Thanos in the first one. So even in Age of Ultron, they were Tony kept talking about what was up in Endgame. They set all of those things up way early as teases, is like that's coming. Like whatever's going on right now is crazy, but that up there is something different. And the flashes and the scenes of them all dead. I hear what you're saying. I totally hear what you're saying. But I think, you don't have to make it too big. You just have to plant those seeds. All you have to do is just plant the idea that someone on the team, it's just like the Winter Soldier. Like just the idea that not everyone is who they say they are, and then suddenly everyone is looking at each other like, are you a Skrull? And they don't have, and then have it where they don't have the ability to be able to tell until you get Reed Richards.
Yeah.
And that could be one of the biggest plots of the Fantastic Four movie. That's how you tie him in. Is him obsessing over finding out. But yeah, just make little hints. Little tiny things. All you have to do is plant the seed of someone dying and them turning into a Skrull. That's all you have to do.
That's fair. Yeah.
And then everyone freaks out, and then in the next few movies there's just something off about certain characters, and then of course you have red herrings, and you tease one thing and it's not, and I don't know. I think that would be totally cool. I mean, Hawkeye's gone forever, and then he just shows up. Like, say that's him. I don't know. I love that idea. I think that's so cool. I want to now go and read Secret Invasion and be disappointed.
Yeah, because it's 8 issues, but my God, the tie-ins, with the tie-ins and everything from that, it ran for like 8 months.
Right.
Altogether. And the thing that really makes me mad about Secret Invasions is that because of that, we got the Dark Reign storyline, which I absolutely hated.
What? With Norman Osborn?
Yes, I hated Dark Reign because Norman...
That's some of Bendis' best work.
I have nothing against the quality or anything in it except for the fact that how stupid do people have to be for Norman Osborn to be put in charge of basically running... Oh, wait, never mind.
Yeah, turn on the news.
I know, that's kind of my... That's also what... Like, I hated it back then because I thought, how stupid are these people? And now I really hate it because they were right. You're right. They showed us something we've never seen before. And I loved that. I thought that was such a cool story because it put the Marvel Universe on its head. And obviously it's been dark for a while, but that time period was cool to see those characters. Like, I want to try and be a hero and not try and be evil. Like Tacken and Bullseye really wanted to be Hawkeye. Yeah.
And he loved it. He was crazy, but like there was points of they tried to be heroes. The stuff with Sentry was just awesome. I think that was some of his best work. And then of course with Siege, I think is so underrated. And it's really short. It's like 4 issues. But it was just really cool to see how all that came about and like it all came crashing down. Of course, Norman Osborn, like the idea of him running Shield was so different. I loved that. I thought that was great. But I could see at the time it being way too long and it being like, this is all these bad guys in charge.
Well, and because everything rolled into itself. I mean, this was right after Civil War, because Civil War led to Secret Invasion, led to Dark Reign, like there was no break.
But I mean, call me crazy, but that to me was the golden age for me of comics. That's when I was reading everything. I mean, you got New Avengers, you had Secret Invasion, you had Siege. These are some of the biggest crossovers. You had Civil War. Like, these are some of the biggest crossovers Marvel had, and successful. After Siege, to me, it all kind of went downhill with their crossovers. And I think for them too. I don't think any of the other ones were successful. Secret Wars was to me awesome. But after that, I can't think of a single crossover event that I was like, you have to read this.
Yeah.
Like, after that, it was like, what? Fear Itself?
I was just going to say the only one really that I can even remember is Fear Itself. And that...
Which is terrible.
Yeah, because I just did not... I couldn't get into it. Like, I couldn't grab onto any piece of that to get invested in. I really couldn't.
But man, what was the one with Wanda?
House of M?
House of M. Like, those were all so freaking good.
Well, here's the thing, though. House of M was a different universe. That's...
it was still... It still played a part in this one somewhat. Like, it still affected it.
Yeah.
That to me was the start of all these great crossovers, and then it really went downhill after Siege and stuff like that, to me at least. Secret Wars I thought was great, but it was way too long. There was too many. It was like every week every book was a tie-in, and they were all different and weird, and I don't know. But to me though, that time period for Marvel is how I look at a lot of the DC events that I like, that crossover events that I like, especially that time period. You had DC doing all of the Green Lantern stuff with Jeff Johns, which was all fantastic.
Yeah, that's true, because that was about the time we started getting Blackest Night and stuff, wasn't it?
Blackest Night and all of that. Yeah, like to me, that time period was like I had to go to the comic shop. I had to get all these books. They were fantastic, and it's not like that anymore. I think really after New 52, DC really rolled back on the events. And Marvel kind of has too, but their last few events I just haven't liked. The one with Captain America was pretty cool. What was it? Secret Empire?
Oh, I hated that.
People hated that, and I think it has a lot to do with the fact that we had real world Nazis killing people in the United States.
And I just hated it because I hated it. Like it sounds weird for me to say that based on how I feel about everything else.
Right.
But I just did not like it.
I thought it was pretty good. I thought, that we haven't seen Captain America like that. I can understand a lot of people going, "That's not my Cap," but they put the toys back in the box at the end, and it obviously was not him doing all this. It was something else.
Right. They explained why. Like, I mean, reality itself had completely been altered.
Yeah,
That's
and I
why,
think a lot of this is it doesn't have to be that dark. These events.
Yeah, that's another thing. Is like I'm just
Secret Empire or Secret Invasion was not dark.
Yeah,
it was bright and colorful, and like even like because one event I really didn't like either was Avengers vs X-Men.
Yeah, I didn't like it either.
But it was bright and colorful. I didn't feel depressing reading it.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for this War of the Realms. Have you read anything about it?
No, I haven't. I just all I know is just what you've been talking about, really.
Yeah, War of the Realms is essentially what they're setting up with all of these books now, with the Thor books. I mean, even with like Wolverine and stuff like that, the Avengers books, and it's just all of the realms. Who's the bad guy from Thor 2 that's terrible?
Malekith.
Malekith, yeah, he's kind of the Doctor Doom of this.
In the comics, he's a badass. Like, he is a ruthless, just heartless, horrifying thing.
Yes, and that's what he is in this. And
yeah.
he is. It's for the last year or so. It's all been leading up to this, and he's been in all the books, kind of like manipulating all of these realms to. He's kind of like the boss, basically, of like a mafia, and he's getting all these families together and that are in all the realms, and it's essentially going to be a war, and he. That's all I know is that he's kind of leading it, but it has a lot of the Thor characters, obviously, but it has a lot of the Avengers characters. A lot of the stuff from Venom is in this, like. Daredevil is cosmic somehow.
Okay.
Yeah, you got Captain America riding a horse, or what do you call it? Not a horse, but a Pegasus.
Okay.
On the cover, like it's all this crazy stuff. Spider-Man's in it somehow. like it's getting all the characters. But I'm excited for it. The Thor stuff has just been top notch. He's got like his in the poster. He's got like a metal. He's had his arm cut off for a little bit now. But it's like gold in the poster. So I don't know. I'm excited. I'm trying to figure. I want to know because I'm a little bit behind on him. He doesn't have what is it? Manor? How do you pronounce it? Mjolnir. Yeah, he only has a chip of it, but I think somehow he gets it back. I don't know. Anyway, I'm excited for it. That's the next big Marvel event, and that's happening this year. And it looks bright as hell. It looks fun. It looks super fun. And I think Jason Aaron is doing it. I'm not too sure.
Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah. But if you go look at the promo, it just looks like, hey, let's have fun with this. Which you need to, which is what you need. Blade's in it too, I think.
Sure.
Yeah, he's in the War of the Realms.
Why not?
Yeah. Man, you have the Marvel app, right?
Yeah, I do. I keep meaning to go in and like catch up on stuff.
I'm telling you, the cosmic the cosmic Ghost Rider is ridiculous on so many levels.
It sounds like a fun kind of ridiculous. To hear the phrase cosmic Ghost Rider just sounds bonkers. Yeah. It's the Punisher basically like, hey, it's the Punisher as a Ghost Rider with all of the with not only granted the Ghost Rider but also the power cosmic from. That's just a recipe for the end of everything.
Oh yeah, and apparently he's in the new Guardians of the Galaxy somehow, because it's all timesy-wimesy as well. Like he's like, I'm gonna raise Thanos to not be crazy and vengeful, and he ends up raising Thanos to be even worse.
Yeah, there's a shock. Frank Castle as Ghost Rider raising Thanos. What could possibly go wrong?
Oh yeah, and they cross over with with Wolverine as the Phoenix, and just they're setting all this stuff up for War of the Realms, especially the Loki stuff too. Man, I can't wait. It's Marvel. It's so ridiculous right now, but it's so much fun. It's like, all right, I've never seen this before.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. So we just totally went on a 20-minute side tangent, but it's an exciting time to read comics, especially if you have Marvel now. Like I've been jumping all over. Like I went from Ultimates. I'm like, I want to read through all of Dan Slott's Spider-Man, and then I'll get bored. I'm like, this is fun and all, but I want to do something else.
Yeah.
And then I'll go read some other run of someone else that there's too much. That's kind of the problem of it. It's like Golden Corral. You get there and you're like, I want some meatloaf, but I want some spaghetti. And then you eat one plate and you're like, I'm just good now. Yeah. I ate too many different places. One thing I want to ask you, you were big in the Ultimate Universe, right? You read the Ultimate Spider-Man, all of them, right?
Yes.
Did you read all of the X-Men?
Most.
Did you read any of the Fantastic Four?
Yes.
Okay, so you know how there's some characters in the Marvel Universe from Ultimates, right?
Yes.
So we have Jimmy Hudson, which is
Wolverine's kid.
Wolverine's kid. We have Miles Morales,
right.
And we have the Maker, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. We have Ultimate Reed Richards.
Ultimate Reed Richards needs to be the villain of a crossover event in the Marvel Universe.
I agree, because he was amazing. When they finally decided to pull the trigger on him going crazy, it was awesome. It was was it Divided We Fall?
Divided We Fall. He's to me one of the most fascinating characters, and he's still there. And the crazy thing is, Miles doesn't remember the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah, it's fair.
Miles doesn't remember, and I think that's BS. But he doesn't remember it. The Maker totally does.
Yeah, I can see that. I can totally see why, because the Maker was in the negative zone for like 1,000 years or something. The ultimate version of the negative zone, and Reed Richards just went crazy. I loved it. I absolutely loved what they did with him, and I totally get it, because he was an obsessed, idiotic geek who was also brilliant. And when life fell apart, he basically had a world-ending temper tantrum.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic.
Yeah, his fall was it's so awesome. It's Reed Richards just gone evil, and what he did to his family and everything else, and like it made me want to go back and read some of that, like what happened.
It's because it's Ultimate Enemy. There was like a trilogy with that. It was like Ultimate Enemy, Ultimate Power, Ultimate something else. And then that was like when he first started. That was what wound up exiling him to the negative zone.
Yeah.
And then, because he had kind of gone nuts, because his parents, because Ultimate Reed Richards' parents, like his mother, it was the standard, like, the father's an abusive, horrible person, and the mother's just trying to maintain. And so, when he finally snaps, they're first. And then it's
Ultimate Comics Doomsday, I think, was it.
Yes.
Ultimate Enemy, Ultimate Mystery, Ultimate Doom.
That's it. And it's awesome to watch him go nuts, and then he gets sent to the negative zone. And he looks, and what's great is he builds the future foundation in the negative zone, but it's not, it almost looks like he's trying to be good.
Yeah.
Except for that, like, little tiny glint in his eye. And then when you get Divided We Fall, when he shows up again, and it's just like, oh my god, he's had 1,000 years in the negative zone to perfect things. Everybody run. He's gone completely. It's genius insanity, and I loved it. It was fantastic.
Oh yeah, and that's why I think he really should be the villain in one of these crossover events, because it's coming. Like, and I think it'd be cool if, like, by the end of it, they birthed back the Ultimate Universe. That would be awesome. There's so many cool characters from there that we just don't see anymore. Like Ultimate Peter Parker, what happened to him? Like, I don't know. So to do a reset and have like an alternate book running with an alternate universe, I miss that.
But you run some risks there. It worked in it, and here's
to me, it worked until Ultimatum. They killed too many characters.
Agreed, and that kind of stalled the momentum of it, and it's why it eventually died, because they got rid of everybody, and they mandated, like, no, death is permanent.
And I love that. That's such a rare thing in comics now, where it's like death should be permanent, and if they had an ultimate line where it started over, and you had Peter Parker, and you had maybe Miles Morales or whatnot. You had Ultimate Wolverine, Ultimate Cyclops, Ultimate Jean Grey, Ultimate Beast, all these different characters, and it's a little bit of a twist than what anything we've seen before, and have death permanent. I would love that.
But it's, the reason that they needed to start over was because they had 40 years of some of these characters. So
yeah, I kind of want a soft reboot with Marvel.
I think that they did that after Secret Wars. I think that was kind of the point of that.
Yeah.
Give it another decade, and I'll be right there with you. Because they, they've kind of put everything back to square one-ish in a way. I mean, Peter, for everything they did with Peter, he wound up back at the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's
well, what happened to him? He's dead, right? Ultimate Peter, like everyone from the Ultimate Universe is dead, right?
Well, no.
Are they still alive? Is the Ultimate Universe there? Like these are questions that need to be answered.
Well, that's an interesting question based just on the end of Secret Wars, where you see the Fantastic Four spinning off alternate universes.
That's true.
Like, they rebirthed the multiverse at the end of Secret Wars. So
I need to catch up on Fantastic Four because they just had their wedding special and stuff.
That's right, because they came back, and that's what Slot's doing now, and I haven't...
I want to see this Ultimate Universe that they got. But yeah, man, the Maker, it's the idea of what did the Joker say? Like, all it takes is one bad day to reduce the sanest man alive to lunacy.
Yeah.
And that to see Reed Richards with his brilliance, the smartest man in the Marvel Universe. Well, I don't think now, but anyway, genius to go crazy is super dangerous.
Well, and the biggest problem with that, with what happened to him, the reason that he went so nuts is because he wasn't a grown man; he was a teenager.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. And what was that's one of the things I loved about Secret Wars was Reed Richards from our universe mixing it up with the Maker.
Yes.
It was just fascinating.
Yes.
He was like, the one thing you don't have is love.
Yeah.
That's the difference between us. He's like, that makes you soft. And he was like, that makes me a survivor. So I forget what he says, but it's just like, I don't know. It was really cool. Yeah. See, and he's right now in the Venom book. Like, he's super curious about the original Venom, god or whatever. And he's like, oh, what's this?
Yeah.
I need to know about this. Or he's trying to, I don't know. I need to catch up with Venom, but apparently he's like a big part in it.
Understandable.
Which is fascinating. I want more of the Maker.
Yeah.
And now that finally Marvel is playing with the Fantastic Four again, I can't wait to see what Dan Slott does with it. So far, it's been good.
Good.
Yeah, because that's outside of the X-Men. That's probably my favorite part of the Marvel Universe.
Nice.
Yeah, you got Galactus, Silver Surfer. You got all that stuff. Doctor Doom, by far my favorite villain. So I can't wait for all that stuff.
See, that's part of why I hope that the Skrulls is a long game. I hope that Skrulls is like phase is something that takes another 3 phases to come to fruition. Because between now and then, I want Doom, and I want him done right. I want big, badass, mystical, run for your lives Doom.
Do you remember the Cabal? It was called the Cabal.
Yes.
Remember when there was the
Illuminati? It was the evil Illuminati, because it was Doom and Thanos and like
Namor. And
yes.
I remember when Osborn, he was like the leader of it, and like he walks out of the room, and Doom was like, he's gonna go crazy. We both know that, and when he does, I have the land, you have the sea. Yeah. I was like, that's fucking cool.
Yes.
Like, he just knows already. He's like, this guy's gonna go crazy. We know he is, and he's gonna lose it. And when he does, I have the land, you have the sea. And it's just Doom to me is just the ultimate villain. And so, if they did him right, like he needs to not only in the movies they just made him like a really rich person that got powers, but like he needs to have land. He needs to own his country, like already. Like that all needs to be established already, I think, in the movies.
Yeah.
Like just have it already be done and just go. And he's oh man, yeah, it's so good. Like I can't recommend enough the book with him and Doctor Strange.
Yeah, what was the newer one, or was that the Oath?
Oh yeah, that's the Triumph and Torment.
That's right.
Yeah, and it's just about how they go to hell because Doctor Doom's mother is in hell.
Right.
Essentially.
Yeah.
And that's like a big that's something he can't fix, and so he tries to fix it. He literally becomes he gets all of the whatever Doctor Strange has. What do you call it? I forget the.
Oh yeah,
he's the Sorcerer Supreme, so like Doctor Doom studies all that stuff. And
yeah.
I don't know. It's a really good book. It's older, so the art might throw some people off, but it's so good.
But it explains a lot of like how Doom stayed on top. Like he wasn't just a genius tech person. When he got into magic, man, that was like that's
And
you know.
Doombots, like
Yes.
I can't wait for that, man. I can't wait for all that in there. People are gonna really think they got him, and then during that movie, the Fantastic Four, it's gonna be revealed he's a Doombot.
Yeah. Oh, can't wait.
Yeah, you know they used to have the toys, and I think it was like every one in whatever Doom was a Doombot.
Nice.
You didn't know until you opened it up and you took off the mask, and it was either him or a bot.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Which is cool. Yeah, Doctor Doom's awesome, man. I can't wait for that. And that's the stuff like a lot of people don't really like. I think most people are like X-Men. We're getting the X-Men. Oh my God, the X-Men. But man, Fantastic Four. It's gonna be something.
Yeah.
In the Marvel universe, I think they're gonna do something special with it. Yeah. Sorry.
Anyway, Batman's gonna start filming in November, apparently.
Yeah. Well, probably without Ben Affleck. People are saying, right?
Yeah, they don't know. So probably, yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. Who do you think's gonna take over? Who's directing it?
Oh, I don't know. I don't even remember if it's. I think it's still Matt Reeves.
Matt Reeves. So who do you think Matt Reeves would get to play Batman?
I don't know.
Is there someone Matt Reeves usually hires in his movies?
I don't know.
What movies does Matt Reeves make?
I don't know. You're sensing a pattern here.
Too many questions.
Yeah.
What movies has he made? He works a lot with J.J. Abrams. War of the Planet of the Apes. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Okay, so it's going to be Andy Serkis doing mocap for Ben Affleck. Got it.
He did Felicity.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. He was a writer for War of the Planet of the Apes. And he was a director of Cloverfield.
Man, he directed Future Shock. Let this boy in.
Yeah.
Oh, he did Cloverfield, man. Why did I not remember that? He directed Cloverfield.
Yeah. Man, it can't be Woody Harrelson.
No, he's Carnage, which is a bad idea.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I still say it's bad. He's too old. Cletus Cassidy needs to be like late 20s, and just because he's more athletically built. He needs to be that. I love Woody. I think he's a fantastic actor. And if it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for the fact that he needs to be actively violent instead of just cognitively violent, I would say he's perfect. But
I want John Hamm as Batman.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, I think they'll go younger though. I think they'll do something with Flashpoint. Wait, no, Batman's. I guess if they're gonna be shooting Batman, this is gonna come out way before the Flash movie.
Yeah.
So I don't know who would they. I guess they could just switch the actor. They've been so many Batmans there, they don't care.
Yeah, it's whatever.
I wonder who it's gonna be. I guess we'll find out this year.
Oh yeah.
I hope it's Affleck. I like Affleck as Batman. I think he's good.
I liked his Batman and his Bruce Wayne. I really did.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm alright with
everything else around it that. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, Shazam's gonna be the first movie that had no Snyder influence, right?
I think so. Yeah, and you can tell because it looks fun.
It looks really fun. We're gonna be getting who are the characters again? The bad guys in it. The seven deadly sins.
Yeah.
Which is gonna be cool. I don't know that much about the Shazam part of the DC universe because it actually really wasn't the DC universe for a while, right?
Right.
They bought whatever company that was. Sounds terrible.
No, wait, hang on.
Yeah, they bought Shazam. It came with Blue Beetle and Captain Marvel.
No,
they weren't always DC universe.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
But no, because aren't you thinking of like Wildstorm and that side of the universe?
Yeah, Captain Marvel, not Captain Marvel. Why am I saying Captain? Yeah.
Because he used to be Captain Marvel.
Right. Yeah, no, it wasn't always DC.
Captain. All right, hang on. Sam, Smack, probably stays Captain's Wiz Comics.
There you go.
No, I've.
Yeah, it's Fawcett Comics, 1939 to 1953. DC bought it in 1972. Fawcett Comics was the company.
Yeah, okay. I'm still gonna.
Nope. totally different publication for a long time. It
Yeah,
was in the 70s they bought them.
but it's Jack Kirby though, man.
Yeah.
Like I still want to put the yeah. I mean, you're not wrong, but
yeah.
I just
they were brought over from a different universe, I guess.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
But I see what you're saying. It was so long ago.
It's like, does it really
before
count?
we were born?
Yeah.
So, you're right. But yeah, it wasn't like So, because it wasn't just him. It was like there were some other characters. I just forget. But anyway.
Well, and here's the thing: Captain Marvel was only around until 53, and then took 19 years off.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that doesn't count. Like, that means he was around. He was around for what, 14 years, and then was just gone. He was on vacation longer than he was a thing.
It's true, I guess. But he's still not. He was not in that universe originally. He migrated into it.
That I mean, yes, technically that is true.
Yeah. Which is, I think, is one of the reasons he's always kind of been like, it's been the outskirts. It's his comics don't really sell well at all.
Yeah.
But the movie looks fun. It looks like Big, but with like Superman.
Which is exactly what it should be.
Right. As long as it's funny, and I think it'll be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it looks fun. He's a kid in a big superhero body, and it looks ridiculous, and it looks fun.
Which which it absolutely should.
Yeah.
Like it really looks like they've hit the nail on the head.
Oh yeah. But yeah, it looks fun. So can't wait for that. When does that come out again?
July something? No, it's later than that. I don't remember. Hang on, give me a minute. Shazam and other media. DC 2019 release date. Come on, damn it! How is this defined? April 5th.
Okay, that's not too far.
Sooner than I thought.
Yep. So we got Captain Marvel, new trailer. The Batman.
Yeah.
Starting to film in November.
Yeah, Venom 2 was confirmed officially. Kelly Marcel, who was a co-writer for the first script, is writing this one.
Okay.
So, cool. They didn't say anything about a director. There's talk that there's probably going to be a new director.
Okay.
So, whatever.
Yeah. I thought the first one was okay.
It was a great first episode of a limited series.
Right. Exactly. Yes. It was a whole lot of okay.
Yeah.
That was a movie.
That was a thing. They made this.
That was a thing. It's crazy because something like that comes out, and then you see Spider-Verse, and you're like, who the fuck is running these studios at Sony?
Right?
Because one is so good and fun and awesome, and the other one's like, that's a thing.
Yeah. The one
like that, it's too much like what they've been doing with the live-action movies. And the animated one was like, all right, no one's looking. Let's go fucking crazy.
I think that's exactly what happened. They were like, look, they just told us to make a Spider-Man movie. They didn't tell us which Spider-Man to use.
No one say Spider-Ham until we're good and we're halfway done with this film. Someone call Nicolas Cage. Let's not tell anyone until about a month before it comes out. And it works so fucking well.
Yeah, I really want to believe that's how this happened. Like they were just put off over there. Look, you guys, because it's Sony Animation. What were they doing? They were going stir crazy, and they were like, "Fine, Spider-Man."
They made up a whole new animation style for this movie, and you can tell.
Yes, they did, and it looks amazing, and I love it.
So good, so good.
Because I remember we had so many people come out, and they're like, "There's something wrong with the screen." I was like, "All right, what's up?" No. And it would just be because they did perspective with it, where you're focused on what's in front of you, and everything in the background is intentionally blurry, and you're not used to that with animated movies.
Right.
It's it's common every day because that's what we see. Sometimes things aren't in focus, but to do that animated in a comic book style of animation.
Why is it in portrait mode? What's going on?
It's like, this doesn't make any sense. I don't understand. And I would have to tell people, I'm like, that's just the animation style. Oh, we don't like that. I was like, buckle up. It's about to get a lot different. Like,
right. Buckle up, buckaroo.
You have no idea.
You're in for a ride.
But,
yeah, man. Yeah, it's crazy.
No, I really want to believe that this group was just like, we're just going to do whatever the hell we want. They had this, and I'm telling you, read the script. It's amazing. They talk about. I loved how they keep referencing the first Spider-Man they show. It's hilarious and sad at the same time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It's so great.
Yeah.
Take 20 minutes and go read the script because scripts don't take long to read.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It doesn't take long at all. But it's so good. It's such a good read.
Perfect. No video game news really this week.
We got one little bit of video game news, which is that who was it? Ryan Penagos from Marvel was talking about Insomniac's Spider-Man and said, quote, I can't tell you anything more right now, but you'll want to keep an eye out for this. It's going to be amazing and fantastic. Which to me says that they're going to release the suit. They're going to release two suits. One is going to be the Amazing Spider-Man suit from the Sony movies, and the Future Foundation suit that he wore.
Future Foundation. That's not in there already?
No.
What?
Yeah.
I understand the ones from the movies taking some time because of licensing and everything.
Yeah.
Totally makes sense. But how is the Future Foundation suit not in there?
Don't know, man. But it's
That's like a super popular one. It's a really cool looking suit.
Yep.
Yeah. Man, I was reading this article on Kotaku. It's titled "The Year-Long Undercover Plot to Blow Up Eve's Online Most Notorious Space Station."
Dude,
and it's a read.
Eve is nuts. Eve Online is insane. Like the people,
it's absolutely crazy.
There are so many stories like that. It's ridiculous. There's so many like plots and this and that. And one dude is a Bond villain who ran the biggest guild or company or whatever the hell it is, and then like stole and then just like cleaned it out and bought the best everything and put a bounty on himself and fled into space.
I'm telling you, if I had enough money, I would make a YouTube show about people who play Eve, and it would be the most drama-filled show ever.
You want to talk about like espionage drama and crap? It's insane. It's
going out and cutting their lines, and calling the cable company and canceling their online service.
It's wild, man. They're insane.
They're absolutely crazy. It's fucking bonkers. And one of my favorite quotes, someone commented, "Please tell me there's a chronicle somewhere recording all of these events into a Romance of the Three Kings style book."
I'm telling you.
Yeah, like it's such a wormhole that you don't have to be into. You never have to play Eve. I've never played it, and to just be like, what just craziness are these people getting into?
Yeah,
that would make a great documentary, just like how the King of Kong was.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. Oh Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah.
That because they're insane. Like it's the attention, like because of the dedication. Like it's man, is it hardcore.
It's so hardcore. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I remember going to there was a place in my town I grew up in. There was a place where you could go to a long time ago. These places probably wouldn't exist now. I guess they do in Korea all the time or all over the place. But here there was like here's a computer place where if you don't own a computer, you can go and pay by the hour to play.
Internet cafes are still a thing. Yeah.
They are? Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I didn't know. There used to be all over in our town, but there's not anymore. And I think just consoles and the price of things have gone down a little bit. So I don't know if they lost business or what, but in high school, that's where a lot of people went. And I remember going there, and I remember like hanging out with my friends a few times, and we were playing like WoW or something. Yeah. And I remember there's this one guy there who was playing Eve, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like it's the same thing on the screen the whole time. And he's like, oh, I'm mining. And he's like, I've been mining for like 16 hours now, and I'm just, I'm trying to, and I'm like, well, what? And he's trying to explain everything, and I'm just like, you're fucking crazy.
Yeah. No.
I felt terrible about playing like 4 hours of WoW, like trying to level up my character, and he's just like clicking he's mining in an asteroid belt.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the universe.
These Eve Online people who really get into Eve Online read the articles of people who like, especially you see this again, it's like in Korea, people who die playing like League of Legends or WoW or something, and they look at them and laugh because they haven't, like, they've never stopped playing Eve. They don't know, like, if they did stop, they would die. Like, they look at this and laugh, and they're just like amateurs. Oh, they played 36 hours of video games straight and died. I'm on 49 years. Like,
and they have so much real stuff invested. Not real, but like to them, it's money.
Oh no, it's actual. Like, you could convert that into actual money.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's the empires and the stuff that they hold. It's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Oh, it's insane. There are a handful of things on YouTube about like some of the biggest villains or like plots and stuff on Eve for things that happened like in games, and it's insane.
Oh yeah.
It's just nuts. But it's fascinating. It's that kind of thing where you look at it and you're like, why are these people like this, and why am I watching my fifth one of these? Like, I don't get it. Yeah. It's crazy.
Oh yeah. Did you see? There was also, it wasn't that big of a news, but Overwatch, they now have another LGBTQ character.
Oh, cool.
Yep, and it turns out it's Soldier 76.
Okay.
Yeah, they I guess they did a little animated short. I don't know who else was in it with him, but they started talking about his past and about his boyfriend or whatnot. So, of course, the internet lost their shit.
The internet being the internet.
Yeah. There was a lot of positive reactions and, of course, negative. But I thought that was pretty cool. Because Blizzard's they have had a rough couple months now.
They just threw their CFO out.
Yeah.
And nobody's exactly sure why.
Apparently that was coming. The other one was like, okay, they found out like one of them they found out was being poached by Netflix.
Yeah, I think that was who went to wasn't it Netflix that picked up the CFO?
Right, it was the one, but from Activision side, I think.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, that's right.
And this one, I don't know. I don't think anybody knows.
Yeah.
Apparently they were on leave. I don't know. They haven't released why, obviously, but Blizzard, man, they've had a rough couple months. So it's kind of cool to see something positive like that. It's just, man. I hope they get it together because wow. I don't want that to go away because people are upset about Diablo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Aliens Blackout was announced. Did you see that?
Yeah, it's like a MMO or something.
No, it's a mobile game.
Oh no.
So Aliens fans are going, we now understand how Diablo fans felt.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't a sequel to Isolation. It's the same Ripley. It's Amanda Ripley. But it's not. It doesn't actually have anything to do with Isolation. It's a Five Nights at Freddy's version of Aliens, basically, as a mobile game. Yeah, that's
terrible. I understand Aliens fans being upset that people who are upset at Diablo are stupid because they're actually making a real Diablo game, and it don't get upset because there's a mobile game. You know what I mean?
But to be fair, it doesn't exactly look like a new game. It looks like the company that they're working with has reskinned some of their old stuff.
I agree being upset and being disappointed, especially the way they should have never made that their go home. This is our last thing we're showing, and it's the big thing of the show.
I think that
it should have been this thing they talked about for a few minutes.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, we're making this. I think Bethesda did it better, where they were like, hey, we have this game, and by the way, don't worry, we have these other games that you guys know that we wanted. Bethesda's a whole other story, but at least they were like, we're making these other games. Where Diablo didn't say that.
No, they were like,
say that.
Yeah, and I think that was part of why this backlash became huge, because had it just been buried in the middle of something like, oh, and by the way, we're working on this, it's Diablo Mobile, it's going to be neat, now let's talk about something else, people would have just went, oh, well, okay, we'll play it, it's kind of crap, whatever, no big deal.
But, and I love new stuff. Like, it's like going to McDonald's. You have your comfort. You have your Big Mac. That's going to be there. You're going to get your another Big Mac. And every once in a while, you're going to get your McRib. And that's going to be there. And this could have been just a McRib. But they were like, no. We're it's the way they did it.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's still going to be Big Mac. Obviously, there's still going to be Diablo 4 or whatever. But they didn't talk about that. They didn't mention it, and that was really where they went downhill with that. And the Aliens fans, I could see that because there's no real Aliens game coming out.
Yeah.
There's no announcement. There's no hope for that. I could totally see them being like, "Well, this sucks." Just don't be a jerk online though. Like, I get being upset and being like, "This sucks." Don't buy it. Just don't give them any of your money. That's how you're gonna get them back.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, there wasn't really too much game news. I miss playing video games. Man, I need to figure something out. I'm gonna get the 3DS soon though.
Hey, better than nothing.
That's better than nothing. Absolutely. Yeah, because I've just without that, it's like, all right, in my free time, trying to work out a little bit, trying to do some positive things, and then I got, the Marvel app, which saved me. So, but yeah. What else we got? We got some TV news.
Yeah, Stranger Things is gonna be season 3 has a July 4th release date. Hooray! They're ordering a pilot for Batwoman over to CW, and David Nutter from Game of Thrones is gonna direct it.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Okay.
I still haven't seen the crossover, but I'm sure I'll get to that at some point. I want to get to that.
I need to as well, man. I want to watch Young Justice.
Yeah, the first episode that came out, because they're doing
apparently, I think there's like 3.
Yeah, but I mean that's again they're doing the same thing they did with Titans.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah, it's sorry guys. If you have a digital streaming service, drop it. Like it's
Yep.
Stop bringing network TV models to streaming services. Move on with the times.
Yep. I agree. I agree.
That's the whole point of something like this. It's like when Netflix tried to do that a year ago and found out, oh, this doesn't work, so they stopped doing that.
Yep. Yeah. If you have a streaming service, put it all out.
Yeah.
At once. Have everyone talk about it. Have everyone watch it, and just keep getting more stuff out there. That's the problem. Is they don't have much. It's just the DC universe. It's not like Warner Brothers, the app.
Yeah. And I get that that's why they're doing it this way, but that's why you need to have more content shored up. Like,
yeah,
Batman
the Animated Series is fantastic, but
yes,
there should be way more stuff on there.
Agreed.
I don't think the Superman one's on there. I think Justice League is, but like, where's everything else?
Yeah.
There's like 3 or 4 animated movies, and there's a lot more DC animated movies out there.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just there's not much at all. Like, and that's the thing is I let it go, and I was like, oh, Young Justice is there, but I'll wait until it's all there, and then I'll get the month.
Yeah, it's like to be back.
Yeah. I wish it was on Netflix though, because I would totally watch that. I want to watch Avatar. That's the thing. Ugh. Anyway.
Yeah, missed that boat, didn't you?
I did.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. What else we got?
Netflix has ordered an animated anthology series called Love, Death, and Robots. Which by itself sounds interesting, and then you realize, oh, it's from Tim Miller and David Fincher.
Okay.
So I'm in. I'm totally sold.
Yeah.
And we talked a little bit about Spider-Verse earlier. Sony is kicking around the idea of a TV show.
That makes sense.
Because, I mean, why not? You have the entire multiverse of Spider-Men to deal with. Spider-People, Spider-Things, I guess, because Spider-Ham. So, Spider whatever.
I still need to play this Spider-Man game.
Oh my god!
I hope the next one though has like a 2-player, like Miles Morales. Like I want co-op Spider-Man, and then you start putting in all these Spider-Verse stuff.
Sounds
Why are you
good.
so quiet?
I because you haven't played anything yet, so I'm just.
Okay.
I don't want to.
It's not co-op in the first one.
There is no co-op.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. I know Miles is in the first game. I don't know any. I think you play him at some points, but I mean like a co-op Spider-Man game. We've never seen that.
Fair.
Like play the whole game co-op.
Yeah.
That'd be nuts.
Be all right with that.
And then the third game, you have the whole freaking Spider-Verse, and you play Spider-Ham, and you got like 6 guys in there at once. It'd be fun. But yeah. So anyway, yeah, I don't know anything, so good. Don't say anything.
I say nothing.
Yeah. Love, Death, and Robots. Yep. Into the Spider-Verse talked about that. Man, yeah, that just makes sense. Duh. Gonna get a TV show about that. What else do we got here? Yeah, we talked about the video game stuff. We got some wrestling news, huh?
Yeah. So this is gonna be the year of All Elite Wrestling. They think.
Yep.
I don't share their optimism long term. I don't. I see this being ECW for a new era. Yeah. And by which I mean it's going to have a rabid fan base, but it's not going to be big, and eventually it's going to flame out. Mm-hmm. I want to be wrong. I want this to be epic and awesome and insane, and genuinely change the world like they want to, like they say. I hope it does, but I'm too much of a cynic to put that kind of faith in. Yeah. I just am. Cody and the Young Bucks did their announcement on being the Elite. And then they had a rally in Jacksonville today where the stadium parking lot had more people packed into it than the stadium has for most of the year because, Jaguars. But they talked about... I get it. Steelers didn't make the playoffs, so I'm going to be salty about everything. I don't care. I'm just glad I'm not an Alabama fan. But
or a Chicago fan.
Or a Chicago fan. Oh.
That was fun to watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
My face turned into the Grinch grinning at the end of that.
I'm sure. Oh, I am sure.
Yeah, that was fun to watch.
But they had their rally, which was basically a glorified press conference, with more pyro in an hour and a half than WWE's had in like 10 years, which was just weird. But they confirmed Double or Nothing is going to be on May 25th. It's going to be held in Vegas at the MGM Grand. The Garden Arena holds like 17,000 people. So a perfectly respectable, that's somewhere that WWE would run. Mm-hmm. They're aiming for good sized crowds. And then at some point later this year, they're going to do one in Jacksonville. And I like the kind of staggered rollout for this.
That's something I could go to.
Yeah, it is. And I would definitely go as soon as they announce details and tickets and everything, because I imagine prices are not going to be tremendously high.
Yeah.
It's not that terribly far from you.
Right.
So I would absolutely go, especially with the kind of roster they have. They've got Cody and the Bucks and Hangman Page. Brandy's obviously going to be involved.
Did they get Kenny?
They have not officially confirmed Kenny yet because I don't think they can. I think
isn't there a big rumor that the WWE put like hey, they put their dick on the table or
they slap the money down because they can.
Yeah.
But I think Kenny goes to All Elite because he's not in it for the money.
Right.
He doesn't need to be in it for the money. He could go to WWE. He could do huge things in WWE. But
I feel they would do with him that maybe they would make him like AJ because they have done a ton with AJ.
Yes, I think he would be the next AJ in terms of of putting him on the pedestal and saying
versus AJ at WrestleMania would be crazy.
Yeah, well, we thought that about AJ and Knock too. So let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Squandered Knock.
I don't know. I think Kenny would do better. Honestly, because Vince McMahon would look and say, yes, we can market that because he's not Nakamura.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not right, it's not fair, and it sucks. But it's unfortunately how it is.
Yep.
But I mean, that depends on Kenny, and we'll know. We may, because I don't know exactly when Kenny's contract is up. His contract might not be up before the Rumble. So I think it's not up until the end of the month. So he may not, I think early next month we'll know one way or another. But,
gotcha.
I think he goes to All Elite.
Yeah.
I do. I think that when Marty's Ring of Honor contract is up, he goes to All Elite.
Yeah.
I think those are no-brainers.
They're all buddies.
Yeah. It's just a matter.
I mean, this could turn into WCW with Hulk Hogan. Literally, and then everyone else is like faunter to like what they. I don't know. I don't see them doing that. I guess.
No, I see this being the opposite. I see this being everybody who really wants this to be something gets involved, and then they find out that it doesn't quite work that way.
Right.
That's what I think. Unfortunately, they signed Dr. Britt Baker to their women's division, which is awesome and a good get. They got a couple of people from OWE, which is not anything that I was remotely familiar with. Sima El Lindemann and Takahiro Yamaura and T-Hawk. And I thought, excellent, we're getting Street Fighter people. Very cool.
Yes.
But so I need to check them out and see what that's about. Apparently it's another like acrobatic high flying kind of style. Cool, whatever. That's your thing. They signed SCU because of course they did. Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, Scorpio Sky, yeah, they were gonna be there, no question.
Yeah.
Joey Janela was a good get. They got MJF, who's basically gonna be like their EC3, pretty much.
Yeah.
So good for them. They got Jericho, which was not really a surprise.
Right.
Is arguably their biggest name currently.
Hmm. Yeah.
You could go back and forth between him and Cody and the Bucks, but
Right.
I think Jericho just has that bigger appeal. But the one that was a surprise to me was Pac.
Yeah.
Seeing him show up to confront Hangman, I'm like, I'm there for that match. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'll watch that. And I think that's probably gonna be your Double or Nothing main event for whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of people from WWE going to that. Like, I'm sure, like, Ty Dillinger.
Man, because I think Ty quit. I
Oh, he did?
think Ty is done. He put something out on Twitter about like thanks for
Thanks for all the fish.
pretty much. Yeah, it was kind of like it was thanking all the fans and for all the support through the tough times and the bad times. Thanks for everything. It's been great.
Yeah, I could totally see him going there and thriving. Not like Thrive the brand, but
just like here's somebody who yeah, here's somebody who gets a chance to really cut loose,
Yeah.
And I could see this happening with anybody who hasn't been big on TV, or feels like they've been squandered. The Ascension, Sanity, Zack Ryder, Mojo Rawley,
You know what would be huge? Would be huge. Rusev.
Nah, he's U.S. champ now.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he won the U.S. title on Christmas, on Rusev Day.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was a great match. He and Nog had a genuinely awesome match for that title. It was a really good match. Definitely worth checking out. And
he would be big, though, if they got him.
Yeah, but he's, like, they're keeping him around. They're finally...
I always feel like he's on the verge of wanting to leave, but they're like, all right, well, we're going to put this little thing in front of you.
And I think it's a matter of, like, you can't ignore Rusev Day any longer. Nog might pop by AEW for a bit, depending on what happens with him. I don't know his contract
Depends
status.
on how much he wants to go back to Japan.
I think that's where he's going to actually go. But I mean, that's what I mean. He may decide to kick around and do some stuff in the U.S. while he's here. Why the hell not? And then go back to Japan.
Now he's an international name. Now you have the spotlight on him. So anywhere he goes, he's gonna be huge.
Exactly. The ball's gonna be in his court, and he may want to stay with WWE. I doubt it, but
you just need to pull the trigger on him. Him and Finn. Like, I feel like they're just there on the cusp of being great, and they just won't pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Because that's all they need to do. It's not really their fault. In a way.
And because I think the same thing with like Gallows and Anderson.
Yeah. I'm sure they're going to be gone. They'll probably go back to Japan.
Because they were huge in Japan. I think if they went to AEW, though,
that'd be huge.
That would be, to have them and the Bucks. Like that's a feud that writes itself and then some.
What about the Revival? They could probably go there. They'd be huge there.
They could, but I think they're going to win the Raw tag titles at the Rumble. Yeah. I think
they probably will, because they know that those guys would be big.
Oh, they'd go in a heartbeat, and they would be huge. They would be huge.
Well, didn't they? I saw them tweet. Mark, remember this tweet? We will fight the Young Bucks. We will, both of them, and the Young Bucks were like, remember this tweet? We will battle the Revival, and this was like December.
Yeah. So I think maybe that's why they're going to get the tag titles as an incentive to keep them there, and also because Raw's tag division is crap.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid.
But I mean, there's, on the women's side, the Iconics might leave. Because what's been done with them? Thankfully nothing, because I cannot stand the Iconics.
Yeah.
But I'm not a fan. Other people are. And
I love Mandy Rose, though. I like how she's doing the New Day-ish.
Oh man. Part of it's really cringy to me because here's the thing. Because she is so committed to it, and is fully on board with it.
Yeah,
it works. But if it was just kind of tossed in there, it would have just felt wrong. It would just not. And I'm still a little.
I think it's great. Like, how else are you going to get underneath her skin by being like, "Hey, I'm just like." I think it's cool. It's. And what has Mandy Rose done since they?
I agree. I do, and I think that that the two remaining members of Absolution are just treading water until we get women's tag titles.
Exactly.
And then they're gonna explode. It's gonna be Naomi and Asuka and Rose and Deville, Sasha and Bailey Tamina and Nia, even though they probably should both just go away. I
like Alexa and Nia way more.
They worked better more, but I just
Man, I saw Nia. I saw the botchamania with her and Sasha.
I don't know though if last night's was technically a botch.
Well, she just fell on the apron and then Sasha flew off.
But here's the thing though, like that's not a move that's gonna flip somebody Nia's size off the apron. I think
that's true.
I think
the physics was not in her favor.
And Sasha is not, and I saw somebody in the group say it, Sasha's not Will Ospreay. She's not gonna pull that move off the apron and land on her feet.
Right.
And
that's
Sasha
true.
has made a career out of taking just horrific looking bumps.
But I liked when Nia was with Alexa.
Yeah.
She would hold her back when Alexa would go crazy, like a little kid stomping her feet. I don't know. I thought it was fun.
It did. It worked. And then they trashed that for the bullying angle that they since dropped because Nia's a bully now, and it's just her. She's been misbooked from the beginning. She should have just been booked to come in and steamroll absolutely everything.
Exactly, like Braun Strowman.
And that's what they did in NXT. It's why when she and Bayley had that match at one of the NXT, I think it was at a TakeOver, like it felt right because Bayley had to think about how to beat Nia because Bayley is like a third her size. So how do you win that fight? And it worked. And then they brought her up to the main roster, and it just hasn't. Like, it's just.
They need to put her back with Alexa. Her, especially their social media, was so much fun to watch.
Yeah, it really was.
And they've been friends the whole time. I saw recently they were doing some Christmas party or whatever. They're all happy-go-lucky, and they just need to go back to that.
Yeah.
What are they even doing to Alexa? I think she had like a show.
She has a talk show now. They turned a moment of bliss into a talk show.
Jesus.
And it was a train wreck. Here's how bad Raw was so bad last night that Hulk Hogan being on it was one of the two best things.
Yeah, I saw that segment. I was like, that's pretty cool. Forget for a moment he's racist.
It was well done. Like that little bit, and it was done exactly how it should be, and it was honest and it was real, and it was about Mean Gene. I think that using Hulk to do it was a little
a little crass
because there have been
what's crass? Yeah,
crass is good. But there is the cynic in me that says we've lost others lately, especially, and they haven't brought out somebody to do a big in-ring tribute. But Mean Gene was huge.
It makes sense.
And as long as this is kind of the end of that with Hulk, I'm okay with this because it worked, it made sense, and I
have a feeling it's not, man. And every time he comes out, it looks like, oh man, he looks like every guy at Hooters.
Yeah.
That is about to do a key bump in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And they just ordered 6 more land sharks for the table.
Yeah.
Like he looks like that guy, and he's about to get on his airboat. I don't know. There's a lot of nostalgia with him with a lot of the fans, even though the crazy racist stuff he said. I don't think this is going to be the end of Hulk Hogan with the WWE. It's Vince McMahon. If it was a different person in charge, I think so. But with the stuff that he's gotten away with, especially with like Saudi Arabia, I don't think this is the last we see of Hulk Hogan. I mean, obviously, some of the talent is still upset. Like, the New Day is still not happy, right? Like, they've publicly said, like, we don't agree with him coming back.
Yeah, that was a while ago. That was New Day, and it was back when there was a Titus Worldwide. I think both of them put out a statement. I know Titus did, where they were both just kind of like, look, the company's made decisions.
Yeah.
We don't like those decisions, but that's them. This is us.
Right.
We're just gonna keep doing business.
Yeah, and I think that's what you got to do. Hulk Hogan is, he to a lot of people that is the Mickey Mouse of the WWE.
But Hulk would say he's the wrong color to be Mickey Mouse.
That's true.
He would make a point of that.
Like it's that. I mean, to the new generation, it's John Cena, right? To ours, it's probably Hulk, or I'm sorry, it's probably The Rock and Stone Cold.
Yeah.
But Hulk for the longest time was the action figure people bought for WWE. He was,
and that's the thing.
yeah.
You can't deny the legacy. Like it is what it is. His mark on this industry is completely indelible.
Yeah,
not
he
just
can't fuck up again though. Like
no.
he can't keep screwing up.
No, he really can't.
Yeah. So I agree with you 100%. I think what they did was respectful. And it was obviously though it made me feel a little weird because they did it. It's like they were like, hey, let's put him out there because they can't boo him for Mean Gene. And for a moment, it will make them forget about his crazy racist ways, and it will make them feel awesome about these memories that they had of these two guys together. But
it's how do you separate the art from the artist?
Exactly. Like when I saw the Mission Impossible movie this year, I was like, that was one of the best movies I've seen this year. But he is a nightmare person that is involved with a cult that there's probably a better term, but
yes,
essentially
religion.
A cult.
We can't afford this is a group that successfully beat the IRS. I don't want to piss off Scientology.
Yeah, and so when you start thinking about that kind of stuff, you're like, oh wow, I shouldn't probably enjoy that kind of movie, but it's a great movie. It's one of those things.
My go-to example for this is anything that Adam Baldwin is in. I love Firefly. I love Chuck. He, by all accounts, from people who've worked with him, is a bully and an awful, horrible human being. He was pro Gamergate all the way. He is a nightmare person, but I love the stuff that he's done.
Yes.
And I hate that. I hate that about myself, but I just have to accept the fact that, look,
including Mission Impossible.
Yeah. Yeah. There are some things that there are some times where I am just willing to overlook it. And does that make me awful? Probably, but I'm willing to live with it.
Right. And I think I'm kind of like that with Hogan. Like I don't see him the same way I used to.
No.
There's a stigma to it now. There's not stigma, that's not the right word, but it's tarnished.
Yes.
But I still, it still brings me back to watching as a kid and seeing Hogan on everything, especially WCW, because when I was a kid, that's what he was on.
Yeah.
The NWO and all that stuff, like it still brings back all those memories, and I can see why they're doing it. I hope that moving forward, he really does mean what he says, and that he really is changed. And he's not like that, but who knows? He probably will say something racist in a week, and they'll take his name off of the website again.
I mean, it's entirely possible.
Yeah, but yeah. So anyway,
on that happy note,
yeah. So. But yeah, so we'll be back next week. Make sure you go to our Facebook, We Geek Podcast, Twitter, We Geek Podcast, at the Logan Witt, at Adam Estep. Make sure you go send us an email, wegeekpodcast@gmail.com. Make sure you go. We're on Spotify now. We're on YouTube, the Android and Apple platforms. Anything I'm missing?
No, I think that pretty much covers it.
All right, we'll see you next week, and I'll talk about a 3DS game maybe. Who knows? Just kidding. I'll talk more about the Expanse because I want to get into that. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Captain.